Hello, we're live. We should be being heard and seen. That's novel when you can be heard and seen. Yay, we're getting levels on everything.
Yay.
Hey guys.
Hi,
How is everybody?
Hi everyone.
Hi, everybody's just like, we're ready. Hey Darth Sidious. Hey Adriel. Hey. I've missed so many of these. I have no idea what's going on. We don't know what's going on either. It wouldn't have mattered. Whether you've seen them all or not, no one knows what's going on with Modelland. I forgot to grab the book. That's the one thing that I forgot.
Oh no.
Let's just use our imagination.
Oh gosh, let's just write the rest of the book in our minds. Dear CL, you're psychotic. There's something completely wrong with you, but I'm not gonna be sympathetic. I'm just gonna judge you. You're supposed to be this big, high and mighty person, but you're failing. I wonder, self-insert Tyra talking to other self-insert Tyra about a time in her life where she was just failing.
I know, I'm like, I kind of feel bad for Tyra knowing that these are self-insert characters and one is just completely dragging the other one.
Exactly. Oh gosh, everyone, I'm still traumatized by the symbol monster of last week.
Look, I'm traumatized by the symbol monster. I'm traumatized by the last Animorphs that we read. I was gonna stream last night and stream something just really wholesome to read. And then I was exhausted and remembered that I had to film a video. So I was like, I'll just be traumatized more.
Trauma. Yay. That's how we bond. Trauma.
Yay,
we bond with everyone in the comments.
There's worse coming. Trust me. That's what is said every time. And every time I'm just so sad.
I just want to know when we get to... Can Darth Sidious, can you warn us when the most unhinged, worst thing is happening? Because I just want to know what the absolute worst thing in this book is.
Ellery says he's read it 3 times and have been here for most streams, and I still don't fully know what's happening. I fully don't know what's happening. The same thing happened when we read Star Trek Corona, where it was like, I don't know what's happening. And I looked at Natasha and Anton, and they were like, we don't know either. Nobody knows what's happening. This is just chaos.
See that? That is chaos.
Start thinking of, it sounds insane to me every time I try to describe it. Yeah, I try to tell my brother about the streams, and then I'm just like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's a lot.
Or Darth Sidious says, but it's spoilers. Or just kind of warn us when it's coming, kind of thing.
Give us a heads up when we're close to it.
Yeah,
you have to tell us what it is.
So we can emotionally prepare.
Why would you do that to yourself? Ellery, why?
Yeah, Ellery, why would you read it 3 times?
There's a morbid curiosity. Trigger warning. I literally just said trigger warning all because we've gotten to a place where if I listed all of them out, you wouldn't be able to see Gabe. So it's just, if Gabe would be behind a wall of text. And I think if you're tuning into this one, since this is, the 5th or 6th one, I've lost count.
Yeah.
This is our 4th day, I think. I think everybody knows, but just in case, this book is trauma.
Oh, so much trauma.
Look, for those of you who are on the Animorph stream, between the kid who's a hawk wanting to mate with the other female hawk and us being like, oh, God.
Teenager.
Thank God there wasn't more detail and plot line of that. And between that and all the she's 15 of this book, I'm just so traumatized. The end of the book with the belladonna to give you a hint. Okay. All the triggers.
All of them.
See a content creator review the novel. I reread it to fully refresh context, only to remember the context doesn't help. Well, I was proud of myself because Gabe was talking about how some people that you've seen review it are like, I didn't read all of it. I'm like, oh, so we're going to be an elite group.
Yeah.
Because only a small amount of people have bothered to even talk about the book. And even smaller than that have finished the book.
Yep. And Darth Sidious was saying, did the scene happen with Abigail Good and her mother? I know, or I think the worst thing that happened was...
Yes. The one with the arm monster, that happened.
But that was an Abigail who got. It was the one who insulted Creamy's
that was
face.
Yeah. So no, probably not. Yeah, there's a child in that hawk. I just kept going, it's a child! It's a child!
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. Darth Sidious says that's ominous. All right.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm just like, oh gosh, because I'm reading first, and so I'm just like, oh no. But hey, we're almost at page 400.
Almost. 2 more pages left, right?
Yep.
Yay.
Let's see.
And then there's only 100 and something pages left to go.
Yay. And my chapter isn't very long. Yeah.
Ellery wants to know if you checked out the Crimson Rogue review, because his review gives the unhingedness its due, LMAO. I have not. I have specifically avoided watching anybody else review it because I'm trying not to be spoiled, because I want to take it in fully for the first time. But then once we finish this, I'm probably going to just go down like a hyperfixation of like, who else knows what we're talking about? Who else has been there? So yeah. Oh, my water's on the floor. I was like, where's my water? I'm hydrated. While Gabe's reading, since I can't do origami, I'm going to try to get some of these designs for Modelland merch online. I can't believe my first collection is going to be Modelland merch. That makes me so sad.
We're gonna sell out of the shirt designs.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's made to orders. It's Teespring, okay. So if nobody buys them, then none of them get made, which I think is the service to the universe.
Yeah, but I'm just imagining just a bunch of people are like, oh my gosh, Modelland, Tyra, I love it, without actually reading the book, and they're parading around like, haha, this is great, and it's like, oh, my sweet summer child.
We've designed it in such a way, one, that I can argue creative whatever if Tyra is like, that's mine.
Oh gosh.
That thing that I've almost completely abandoned the copyright for. But also, you're not going to be able to like really like see any of these and think Modelland is good. It's got they all either have the word trauma or survivor on it.
Oh gosh.
Or Tyra Y.
Tyra Y.
Which honestly, somebody could just, even without reading, you could be an America's Next Top Model fan and still get the Tyra Y shirt.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, there are a few other things that apparently there's going to be an interview in like a week or so with some of the past contestants talking about their experience on Top Model, and it was Tiffany, the one who got yelled at. It was Lisa, who won All Stars, spoiler for that, but she was traumatized her whole time there, and people still give her hate for it. There was Kenya from, Kenya from Cycle 3 or Cycle 4, who had a traumatic experience that I can talk about later. And was it Gina? No, it was Angelie, who was disqualified in Cycle 17. So
what you're saying is we'll have to watch all of those specific episodes with their specific trauma and then watch the interview back and be like, ooh, tea.
Yeah, pretty much. And then respond to it and be the first ones. And then you can make that some of that YouTube money because you'll be the first.
Yeah, Modelland has a forum on our Discord, so feel free to post any and all Modelland related content over there. Crimson Rogue is the one with the 3-hour review, the one that says too stupid to hate. That's the first one I want to watch once I'm done with this.
Oh gosh.
And Adriel says, I just put away all the utensils from my dishwasher, like an actual adult who has spoons, both metaphorical and literal. Yay, spoons! Jess from DragonCon, they have I have the pin that they designed that says no spoons, only knives, and it's just a utensil drawer full of just knives. Hey Chris,
gosh.
Just wanted to hop on here before I leave for dinner with my church in 2 hours. Also, I'm having an issue. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope that gets better for you. Yeah, we're probably going to be in a crisis all day, so we're glad to hear from you. Glad you're also escaping before any of the real trauma happens.
Yay.
Hope you feel better.
Feel better. Excuse me.
I used to know how to... You're good. How dare you?
I'm sorry. Why?
Oh my gosh. No, you're good. I used to know how to get my chat separate from my actual thing so that I could look at both, but I don't know. So I'm going to just configure some things real quick as you start reading. Don't mind me, chat.
Okay. Chapter 34.
Oh, God.
The Mad Woman and... Oh, whoops. I thought I was going to say Anne. my bad. I messed up already. The mad woman of the Modelland.
I do that all the time where I just assume what the next word is going to be, and then it's like, hey, you're wrong.
Oh no, gotta don't go back. Just keep going. Just change the other words to make it make sense.
Like Trump when he's giving an interview, when he's giving a speech, and he's like, furniture and future, instead of just being like, I'm sorry, that was the wrong word.
Covfefe.
Coffee.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Thunk.
Anyway.
Anyway, the mad woman of the Modelland.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Hope you feel better.
Feel better, Chris? Tookie's head fell hard onto her pillow before her bed had fully materialized. Her body was racked with exhaustion, but the heavy burden of impending death robbed her of the ability to fall asleep. Unaliving robbed her of the ability to fall asleep. 4 days had passed since Desperata had scaled the wall and the Unica's plans had been foiled. That day, after Guru Laro's class in Careful Whispers, the girls had seriously considered scaling the wall and succumbing to aging. Old looking is better than unalive, they reasoned. But then Piper had questioned whether 50 years of physical aging also shortened their lifespans, which wasn't any better an option than staying where they were. Tookie stared into the darkness wide awake. With her finger, she traced a single word onto the sheet. How? It was the question she had written on a scrap of paper to Dylan, then Shiraz, then Piper, in runaway class. While dodging Guru Ganero's gaze, Piper had tirelessly drawn 15 different diagrams of the Modelland grounds, but they all led to dead ends. How will they choose to torture us? Burning, drowning, boiling, stoning, strangling, sawing, scalping? How can I get my friends out of here?
Okay, calm down.
Oh God, thank goodness we just put all for trigger warning.
Just all.
The moonlight of the ceiling intensified, and the stars in the Modelland sky had come out to play, as they had every night since the girls had been there. Kamalini and Zarpace's lumières shone magically on their faces. The luminescence displayed their exquisite features and dewy skin. A scream echoed through the halls, making all of Tookie's nerves snap. Was it Ciel attacking Shiraz? Tookie bolted upright. Across the room, Zarpace sat up in bed. Get off me! Shiraz sat up too, staring curiously at Zarpessa. What's her problem? Is she having a nightmare? Asked Tookie. Get off me! They'll find me! I can't have them find me! Zarpessa ranted. Her eyes were wide open and they darted around the room. Her head and body twisted in opposite directions from each other. Her feet were taking her to parts of the room where her eyes weren't looking. Her arms flapped. The lumiere darted right in step with her like a police helicopter's searchlight looking for a perpetrator. Stay away from it, lady. You disgust me, Zarpessa shouted, waving her arms at the searchlight. I'm not hiding you anymore, so don't follow me, or they'll find you. Tookie blinked hard. What was Zarpessa dreaming about? Zarpessa jumped into the air and swatted at her lumiere. Stop it, you hammer? When she turned and her crazy eyes locked on Tookie's mismatched ones. Heterophobia! Heterophobia!
Taking a drink.
Taking a drink. She stomped up to Tookie and yanked hard on her nightgown. I thought it's just first, dang it, and I will wear it on the day of discovery. The dress, the yellow dress she fought over with Lizzie. Was Zarpessa dreaming about that? Zarpessa tramped up next to Shiraz. Have you had let Poppy handle everything? We're running bad off Mars. Poppy handle everything? Tookie's skin prickled. Was Poppy Zarpessa's father? Zarpessa's body began contorting again and bouncing around the room. Tookie felt a sudden temptation to rush over to Zarpessa, wrap her in her arms, and soothe her, like she had done with Desperata. The feeling quickly abated. Nope, I just can't. Zarpessa ran out of the room and down the hallway. Her lumiere stalked her hungrily around the corner, as if it were an anaconda in the rainforest that hadn't eaten in 2 months. Tookie and Shiraz ran into the hall, leaving Kamalini sleeping peacefully, comforted by her headbanger. Other girls were now awake and in the hallway, including Dylan and Piper. Now I'm presenting Zarpessa Zerianu as the mad woman of the Modelland, Shiraz blurted out, running down the hallway after her, erupting into giggles. Well, I guess we found out what the devil's L's in Modelland stand for, Dylan joked to Bibiana. LL for Looney Lumiere. Zarpessa had moved into the kitchenette, zeroing in on the bank of refrigerator drawers that house various Modelland munchies. The Lumiere, the Lumiere can't follow me in her, and neither can that stupid Lada. Come on, Papa, protect us from her. Get out of the lot. I can't find us in her. But Zarpesa's snake-like Lumiere illuminated her face even in the uncommon room. The light, which still seemed to be coming from her bed, was bending perfectly around every corner and coming down hard on Zarpesa. Zarpesa squeezed into the refrigerator, ripping open a package of munchies. I'm so hungry, Papa. Time for dumpster dive dinner. I'm starving. Starving, Chase, who had emerged out of her room, asked. What's she talking about? That girl eats. She doesn't have the Likey sisters problem. The Likeys who were standing beside her stiffened. We have no problem. And the girl wouldn't dumpster dive if her life depended on it, Chase went on. Her family's like billionaires or something. They could probably buy and sell all of Modelland. You're her friend, help her! Dylan shrieked. Zarpesa's eyes were now rolling into the back of her head. Oh, heck no, Chase replied, stepping back 5 full paces. I do not do crazy. The door flung open and Dr. Erica speed skated into the room. What's going on here? What the devil is going on here? She demanded. Shiraz raised her hand. Girl, wake up. She woke up. She screamed like a nutcase about her Lumiere and T-Dot dress. She's going wacko. Came here to binge on munchies. Slam behind them, Zarpesa shut herself inside the refrigerator. Muffled shrieks could be heard from inside. Dr. Erica tapped lightly on the fridge door. What's her name? I'm trying to do like a Snape from a Harry Potter musical impression.
Nice.
That's what I'm going for. What's her name again? She asked to the group. Who? The crazy monster. Zar oppressor. Dylan huffed. Tookie started to snicker, then clapped her mouth shut. Despite how evil Zarpesa was toward her, she felt sort of bad for what was happening. This was a full-fledged breakdown. I'm just going to do a normal voice for Dr. Erica. I've seen this many times on Modelland before, Missy. Dr. Erica said too much Bella pressure, experiencing terrifying things like THBC, witnessing a girl aging 50 years before your eyes can cause a drop in serum glucose. Oh, ugh. Zarpesa, well, the refrigerator light. The Lumiere follow me on her. Dr. Erica appeared at the girls. Does anyone know what she means? Perhaps one of you knows her from home. Did something terrible happen to her? Piper turned to Tookie. You know her from home, don't you? Everyone looked at Tookie, including Dr. Erica. Tookie, the doctor said gratefully, is there anything you know about this girl? Tookie felt a lump size of a grapefruit in the back of her throat. If there was any time to expose Zarpesa's secret, this was it. But she could just feel the anticipation in the room, the delicious, perverse glee of the other girls who were just waiting for a scandal. There might be others besides Tookie and her friends who wanted Zarpesa to fail, jealous girls, envious girls, girls who were not performing half as well as Zarpesa in class, telling all Tookie knew right now could ruin Zarpesa. Ciel's words rang out in her head. The girl who is sucking your blood is hurting way more than you. Tookie knew Ciel was right. What she needed to do was create a talk show and have Zarpesa on and humiliate her in front of the whole crowd. That's not what was said.
I was going to say,
yeah,
no way that's what it says.
Since you got me with the okay, creamy, I was just like, I'm going to get Avery.
You.
just to see what would happen.
No, I was like, I was trying to see if your eyes were moving. I was like, there's no way.
Cut back to me having dead eyes while reading that. She should have compassion and understanding even for an enemy. Being the bigger person was what leaders do. Yes, Ciel was crazy. Yes, she wanted to torture and unalive Tookie and her friends. But in the end, exposing Zarpesa's lies wasn't something a leader would do. But if someone is having a mental health issue,
tell the doctor why.
Yeah, you could be like, I need to talk to you away from here. Don't just lie and be like, she's perfectly fine. That's not what you do.
What Tookie does.
It's what Tookie does. All eyes were still on Tookie, waiting for an answer. Even Zarpesa had gone silent in the fridge, as if she suddenly had her own wits about her and sensed what was coming next. Tookie lowered her eyes and shrugged. I know nothing about her, she said in a low voice. Nothing at all.
Lie.
Lies.
Lies. It's all lies.
Yeah, a leader. A leader wouldn't expose Zarpessa. A leader would lie as one of her classmates is having a mental health crisis.
Ellery points out the Likey sisters have a lot of issues, and their dietary issues are some of the less concerning ones, like the hive mind and the fact that they count as one person.
Yeah, they all fit into one. But wouldn't the bed be? They would be able to like mentally make the bed bigger for all of them, or if they're. I guess.
would think.
Unless they all think they're one person.
Czar Opressa hits like a wet noodle, Salt Mountain says. Zarpressa evil, please, says Darcidius. And then what is happening? Why are they at the doctor? Because Zarpessa is having a mental breakdown.
And the doctor came to them. She skated in.
She skated in on her skates for feet, because if you don't remember, she doesn't have feet.
Yep.
Really quoted, "The girl who's sucking your blood is hurting more than you," like it was a good quote.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why I went to the whole. That's why you start a talk show and try to humiliate them, because I feel like Tyra's just talking about Naomi Campbell, maybe.
Darth Sidious says, "I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?"
Learn something from this. When you go to bed at night and you're trying to take responsibility for someone, take responsibility for yourself.
I just want to see you do a short where you like open the laptop and it's playing, and then you're just like doing the thing where you're talking exactly with it.
Oh gosh, I mess up some of the words when I know the gist of it. It's like, I don't have a sugar daddy. I've never had a sugar daddy. If I want a sugar daddy, I could go out and get one, because I am what sickening. You can never have a sugar daddy because you are not that kind of girl. Maybe everything I had, I worked for, and that's not the exact quote.
Derprex says, "I'm sorry, the what? I don't think that's scientifically accurate. It's not even scientific." I'm not sure exactly what that was referring to. It could have been anything.
The what?
Derprex said, "I'm so sorry, the what? I don't think that's scientifically accurate. That's not even scientific." And then Ellery says, "Tookie, quote, I plead witness confidentiality." Chris says...
The door flung open and Dr. Erica Speed skated into the room.
Oh, about the not having feet? Yeah, get used to that. It's body horror.
Yeah.
There's a whole race of people that just have roller skates for feet.
Yep.
I was trying to explain this to Spencer, and he was like, "But how do you give birth to a baby with roller skates? That feels bad."
Maybe they're tiny skates, so it's like a real baby, but with tiny little skates on.
So to fix a mental issue, they are like bloodletting or something. Why are they sucking blood? No. Sucking blood is in like a metaphor for like the person who's like hating you and trying to drag you down. I think. Yeah,
CL's words rang out in Tookie's head. The girl who is sucking your blood is hurting way more than you. Yeah, they're not gonna try to suck Zarpessa's blood literally.
I hope not.
Well, yeah, this book is just like, they open up a door and there's Zarpessa with leeches all over her.
To be fair, of the quotes from the book, the blood-sucking one isn't the worst excuse for literature in this hell book. It's true. It's one of the better quotes that Modelland has.
Oh, gosh.
Paulo says, "I'll leave the stream running. If my PC dies, I'll know what the cause was. I'm so sorry, Paulo. Save yourself."
Oh, thank you again for the $5, Paulo.
Oh, yes, and thank you for leaving the stream running so we get that extra view.
Thank you.
And that watch time.
Give Avery your money.
No. Thank you for giving me your time as it is.
Time, yeah.
You're like, "Oh, yeah, time."
Yeah, time.
It's like the Wheelers from Return to Oz, but for kids. That's what I said, Darth Sidious. Although Return to Oz was for kids, but we all forget that because we were all traumatized.
Oh gosh, I've seen clips from that and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I did a whole video on that movie. It's very like, as far as like the puppetry and the costumes, very cool, also very traumatizing, especially if you're a kid.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Dorothy they try to electroshock therapy Dorothy. That's how the whole movie starts, basically.
Oh gosh.
Because she's like still talking about Oz, and they're like, "She's sick, she's mentally ill," and it's like, oh god.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be surprised if that eventually happens in this book.
After the 3D file. Friday night, had to work today. Came. Preparing Whataburger. Ooh, Whataburger.
No, I want French fries.
I'm talking about the melanin pores. What controls your skin tone and pores? Oh, yeah. That's also not scientific. The melanin pores part. Return to Oz, Modelland, 4 kids, and it's like the clasping hands meme.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The Wheelers freaked me out in the book too. I had somebody in my comments like try to be like, it wasn't that scary. Everybody's just making a big deal of it. It's like, okay, but the Wheelers are terrifying. The shock therapy is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like Modelland for Return to Oz is like Modelland for babies. That's unfair to Return to Oz. At least it has a coherent story.
Yeah.
But I do see what you mean.
There you go.
I'm like,
Do I have to? Don't worry. The next chapter after this is a creamy chapter.
oh, good.
We'll know what happens with Abigail.
Maybe. I'm just thinking about all the it's only a 10-page chapter. I shouldn't complain. Could be worse. Although 10 pages feels like 100 with this book.
After we had to read like 20 plus page chapters, it's like, oh, 10 pages is nothing.
Okay, chapter 35. Deco. Some of the chapters have such normal names, and then some have names that are just whole paragraphs of what the hell. The morning sun blazed brightly, but to Tookie, it felt as if the sky were covered with angry storm clouds. She wasn't in her bed this morning, Tookie said to her friends as they gathered in the uncommon room. She's probably still in the feds, Dylan whispered, given a czar oppressive madwoman of Modelland performance. I bet they put her mean butt in some butts in wild animal restraints. What I wouldn't give for Kara picture of that.
I already took the,
Hydrate, don't dehydrate, guys.
Yeah.
Piper, who was watching them from the windowsill, the filtered light backlighting her face, sighed. She did appear to be a danger to herself and others. After Tookie had denied knowing anything about Zarpace's past, the rest of the evening had gone by in a blur. Dr. Erica had finally managed to wrench the refrigerator open and drag Zarpace out. The girl had been kicking and screaming about peanut butter, her eyes wild, still tangled in a dream. It had taken several security guards to carry her out the door. The girls turned to the sound of rapping on the front window, gently rapping at the door. Bravo was standing in the bushes. Hello, my favorite Bella, he called to Tookie. Oh, God. This... I can't roll my eyes hard enough for this man. His voice muffled through the glass. I don't know why that made it funny. Hello, my favorite Bella, but it's like all muffled. Dylan grabbed Tookie's wrist and squeezed. Shiraz swooned. Even Piper looked flustered and flushed. Bravo was looking more dapper than ever, dressed in spit-polished boots, a uniform similar to testosterone everyday wear, but made of finer material, and a cape-like coat with padded shoulders and 6 pockets running up the front. All right, no need to brag about the pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Tookie opened the window so he could climb in. Dylan caught her arm. Girl, you know we're not allowed to have boys in the D. She whispered in Tookie's ear, especially not fine, sexy tenders like Bravo.
I'm just gonna take a drink.
Yeah, go for it. Tookie shrugged and whispered, he'll only be here for a minute and we're leaving this place soon anyway. What does it matter if I get in trouble? Pardon me, ladies, Bravo said, dusting off his pants. But would you mind if I stole your friend Tookie for a few minutes? Dylan stepped back now, smiling. Well, I suppose, but take good care of her, you hear? And then all 3 of Tookie's friends disappeared from the bedroom, giggling. Shiraz hooted. I don't know if that's a full sentence. Maybe it is. A short sentence. Okay. Hi, Tookie said, her insides turning boiling hot. Hi, Bravo replied. You're following me, aren't you? Tookie said, realizing there was a touch of flirtation in her voice. She didn't even know she knew how to flirt. You're 15. You shouldn't know how to flirt. I saw you outside the Kara boot again. 3 times in 1 week, huh? But you do help me not to be so seasick. Really? Well, yeah, if you want me to be completely honest, I am following you. And I'm glad you're not seasick anymore. Oh, this dialogue! Bravo's lopsided grin snaked its way up the side of his face and right into Tookie's heart. Oh, I hurt my hand during a photo shoot on the roof. And I came here today because I needed to have my thumb sucked. That's literally what it said.
Oh my god, Tyra, she's 15. What? I feel like
every time I think I'm prepared because I can't be not prepared. It hits me again like a cold splash of water.
what is happening to Bravo's cat? Well, I guess it's like men are accessories. She just changes his
No.
personality to fit her need.
Adriel says no. The dialogue gets so much worse. Oh god.
Oh god. 10 pages of this. I'm not gonna complain. Never mind.
That wasn't nice, Tookie said. Oh no, it was. Bravo was the one to swoon this time. It really was. Boys can swoon too. Equality. They were silent for a moment, then Tookie swallowed. So, why are you stalking me? I mean, we've had a few nice conversations, but what do you really know about me? Well, let me see. Bravo paused as if he was trying to recall a list. You hate chocolate with a vengeance. I'm just gonna...
Rude. How dare she?
I don't even have any Kit Kats to angrily munch. I need to buy a big bag of Kit Kats. You're always hungry. You appreciate things that aren't conventional. She's always hungry because she only eats whipped cream. Correct. And how do you know that? The friends you keep, the unusual flower you wear, it holds tasty things. But it's hiding something too, isn't it? I saw a piece of it when you were getting patched up at the feds. So what's under there? He asked, trying to move the brooch aside. Uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Look at the nice velociraptor. For emotional support. Tookie swatted his hand away, afraid for him to see the Tookie pin. That's none of your business. Well, it's right over my heart, Bravo said, completely earnestly. Tookie's jaw dropped. Your heart? Since when has my body become yours? Then she laughed. And come on, that is such a line. That's the one that you pick up on as a line? But in truth, she loved that he just said that. It made her heart beat at warp speed. That sounds like a medical condition.
Oh, God.
Bravo smiled sincerely. It's like when the Grinch's heart grows 2 sizes, and it's like, oh no, that doesn't sound safe. Bravo smiled sincerely. You're a good girl, Tookie, and I respect you. I guess it's just wishful thinking, the wanting your heart thing. Tookie blinked at him. All of a sudden, she felt the urge to laugh, or maybe cry. Same. She remembered what she looked like, and all the insults that had been hurled at her by her family. Zarpesa, Gennaro, and here was the faultless specimen of malehood, a guy prettier than Miracle, wanting to spend time with her. She just couldn't understand it. Why do I feel like Bravo in actuality looks like just like a guy? You know?
He's just an average looking
He's just a dude.
But he has like scrapes on his arm from having metal beams fall on him, so he's like rugged.
Are you kidding me? She blurted out. You want me? Seriously? He brings you whipped cream every day. Bravo didn't break her gaze. These other girls here, they chase after me like I can solve all their problems. It's always been that way for me, not just here, and it sucks. I open my mouth to say hi, and women damn near pass out or want to marry me. Oh, you poor thing. And I'm not even old enough to get into a club at Ladorno. Oh, the trials and tribulations of the exquisite male. I'm so sorry for your pain. I know, I sound ridiculous, like a conceited egomaniac. You said it, I didn't. But I'm serious, Tookie, Bravo went on. You're different. She's not like the other girls. You could care less about my outer shell, this thing I had absolutely nothing to do with creating. Then he shifted his weight. I want to tell you a story. Oh, goody. I can't wait for this.
Once upon a time, I was ugly, but then I got pretty. Then everyone noticed me, but I want people to love me for me.
Oh my god, if that's actually what it is, I'm going to give you, like, extra points. A story? Yeah, about somebody I know. Will you listen? Of course. Who doesn't love a good story? I wish I was reading a good story.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, where do I start? He shoved his hand deep into his coat pockets, exhaled deeply, then said, okay, here goes. More than anything, a little boy named Deco wanted to be an architect. When he was 6 years old, the other kids were drawing 2-dimensional houses and stick figures, but Deco was building three-dimensional cities with discarded pieces of junk, but no one paid much attention to Deco's beautiful work because there was something that was more striking than his creations: his face. No matter where he went, people would stop in their tracks when they saw him. Sounds like miracle, Tookie thought. 2 years later, the conductor of the prestigious Philharmonic Orchestra spotted Deco and his parents at a music street festival. The composer convinced Deco's parents to allow him to compose a whole symphony dedicated to Deco's face. Really, Tookie interrupted. That's just plain weird. I know, but just listen, okay? Bravo pleaded. Tookie nodded. On opening day, Bravo continued. Deco stood on the concert hall stage as the musicians stared at him, but he wasn't miserable, because from where he stood, he had a perfect view of the entire hall. The swaying walls, the building undulating curves. He was transfixed by the scale and scope of the place and how, if given the chance, he would design it differently. He resketched and redesigned the space confines of his 8 years young head. Tookie pictured the young boy and softly smiled at the thought of him getting whatever pleasure he could from such an odd circumstance. When Deco reached his 10 years, the attention he received from the opposite sex were startling. At 10? One young lady actually fainted when she saw him on the first day of school. Deco was interested. He concentrated on his architectural career instead. He tried to sell his ideas to multiple architectural firms. They were always impressed with his skills, but his face stole the show, and conversation soon turned to the beauty of his visage, not his designs. So what happens to a child whose true gift is ignored, forgotten, looked over? What becomes of a boy people don't listen to and only stare at? I don't know, Tookie answered. What happens to him? Go with me. I think this is also a Tyra insert character.
Yeah.
That was a rhetorical question, Tookie. Bravo smiled. Deco had been approached countless times to attend testosterone, but the very idea turned his stomach. One day, he overheard a conversation between his heroes, two leading architects. The men spoke in hushed tones about the rumored gravity-defying stupendous architecture and design of Modelland, and about how they were going to pilgrim up the mountain to view it for themselves. Just 1 week later, Deco read a headline on the front page of his local newspaper about two missing architects. All that was found of them in the diabolical divide were their bloody, torn clothes and an architectural drafting kit. The media was stumped that two grown male architects had attempted to pilgrim a Modelland first. They speculated that the men had caught the first cases of the pilgrim plague for men. Oh boy, but only Deco knew the real reason for their fatal excursion. This is so intense, Tookie whispered. Is it? From that day forward, Deco became obsessed with the reason why the two favorite architects would risk their lives to see Modelland structures with their own eyes. Their obsession, even in the deaths, yay, raptors, even in their deaths, became Deco's, but he wasn't willing to risk his life for the viewing. His safe way up the mountain. Testosterone, Bravo and Tookie said at the same time. They finished each other's sandwiches, guys. Bravo exhaled deeply, like a huge weight had lifted off his chest. Tookie touched his arm. Hi, Deco. Hi, Tookie, Bravo replied. Why did he change his name? I'm still wondering. His eyes were glassy, and Tookie wondered if he was holding back tears. I mean, yeah. She saw that he had tears and wondered if he was holding back tears, is what it basically just said.
Well, he could have, been I don't know, pouring water on his eyes behind the bushes.
Fake tears.
Yeah.
Before he goes and tells his almost girlfriend this very sad story about his life.
Oh, he's just so pretty, you guys.
He's too pretty. They don't understand him, you guys. Thanks for listening. Then he leaned towards her. You have a hair that's about to go in your eye. Let me get it. Tookie remained very still. He licked his thumb and brought it to her eyebrow, slowly smoothing the unruly hairs down as he smiled into her mismatched eyes.
I'm being very expressive today. I don't know why.
It's Modelland.
Yeah.
Tookie stared deeply into his caramel ones, and her knees felt like they would buckle. She sensed a gentle burning inside her stomach, and her lips felt like they were being tickled, even though Bravo's hands were nowhere near them. Bravo put his hand on the side of Tookie's face. The warmth from it felt like sweet tea pouring into her mouth. He whispered straight into her ear, his lips brushing against her earlobe. I really like this, Tookie. It feels right. Sorry. I know I have to get out of here before you get in trouble, but I don't want to leave. His words felt like maple syrup coursing through her veins. Everything has a relation to food. I don't know what that is, Tyra. And I don't want you to, she replied. You make me feel a single tear fell from her brown eye, like a remember girl.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
She won't be a forget-it girl anymore.
Because she has a boyfriend now.
Yay.
Really? A remember girl? What's that? What I have always wanted to be. Someone beautiful. You are beautiful on the inside and the outside. Tookie wrinkled her nose and shook her head. You really are, Tookie, beautiful in a special, unique way. You're so different, and you deserve someone who will treat you like the unique princess you are. And that's me, Tookie.
Bravo is an self-insert and like the perfect man that Tyra wants in her life, even though the characters are teenagers.
The like secret crush that Tyra has on some other famous guy that none of us know about.
Exactly. My assumption is Tyson Beckford still because he played Bravo in the trailer.
I've heard better things. I've seen better dialogue on Wattpad stories. I don't want anybody else to have you. I guess you can say I'm selfish. Already red flags. Red flags. I want you all to myself. Your first time should be special and tender, and it should be with me. I can't.
They're 15, Tyra. I'm sure your family's just like, why is he yelling?
My family is hearing me read this low-key, like, smut and being like, what the hell is she doing with her life?
I don't have any red paper, but I'm just gonna wave all this paper as a red flag.
Natty says, same Avery, I've made better writing in 7th grade. I guarantee you have, yes. Architect kind. I have to take care of child shenanigans. No, Darth Sidious says, red flags several chapters ago, but also yes. Oh yeah, there have already been red flags. No, Tyra. Tyra, stop. Tyra? Tyra Banks, unfortunately. Wait, what's happening?
Oh.
I missed something in chat. Hi, Chris. I'm so sorry for what you're about to hear. When you're apologizing to everybody for coming into stream, that's how you know it's really bad. Is this supposed to be romantic? I am not wooed. Same, pizza. I know I'm incredibly demi, but even the like, this is not it. This is not it. Whatever it is not. He didn't even change his name. He changed 2 letters and added an extra one. Oh my god, you're right. He did. But why? He didn't say why. Why did he change his name?
Deco. It almost sounds like Deku.
Barfing emojis, yes. Barfing emojis. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, it's all good. I was like, it's almost like Deku from My Hero Academia, but I'm sure Tyra wouldn't understand that reference.
Or at least the dinos. Let them eat all of Modelland. I need to take a picture of the dinos just sitting on Modelland.
Blech. Sorry.
Just surrounded. It's like we've got it surrounded, guys.
Unfortunately, the one that tried to eat it got sick and had to go home.
Natty says, I've read like the worst kind of smut in the last year and on Book Talk, yet I hate this most so far. A new name. Is this like the childlike empress in disguise? The dino's name is Banana. We have named this dino Banana.
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 Potato. Potato. I don't think Bravo changed his name. It's like a stupid trope where someone tells a story about themselves but pretends to be fictional or about another person. Okay. Oh no.
Does it get worse?
I'm scared.
Ah.
Oh no. Oh no.
The next few minutes, just, oh god, no.
That's awfully bold of you, Tookie pulled away from him. I'm just getting to know you. You claiming my first time already? Yes, Tookie, your first time. Your first ... kiss. Oh my god. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm afraid now. I'm afraid to.
Cut to when they're 20 and they're like, hey, we've been dating for a year now. Do you want to kiss? And maybe later. The end.
At 20, they haven't even kissed yet.
Yeah, I'm changing the book to make it less weird.
They're doing the whole courtship thing. They don't kiss until they're married.
Oh gosh.
Which, like, if that's your choice, valid. That's valid, but that's not what Tyra's gonna do. Oh, sorry. Tookie's cheeks flushed, her mind spun. He wants to be my first. Stop calling it the first. Me, the expando mode, six-headed forget-it girl. Her forehead gains a bigger number, a bigger sum every time we talk about it. Is he sight impaired? Did she not? I feel like she didn't want to say blind, as if that was where Tyra drew the line
that's where
being offending. That's not the thing that would have been offensive, Tyra, I don't think. But he's looking right at me. Close up. Oh god, I promised myself to Theophilus. Oh god, have you? Have you no loyalty, Tookie? Is that in your... That's kind of in your mind, Tookie.
Tookie, he technically has a girlfriend.
He barely knows you exist, and you've been gone for months. Tookie calmed down. You can be my first. Bravo ducked his head. I feel like a charity case. No, I didn't mean it like that. How is this? I want you to be my first. Really?
What?
And what about the being my girlfriend part? Being my, my lady. Stop it. This is like Love Comes Softly. Ick. Tookie couldn't believe her ears. Yes, that part too. For real, Bravo. They fell silent for a moment. Tookie ducked her head. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I can't wait to lose my lip virginity to you. I can't believe you said that either. Why? Why did you say that?
Tyra,
why?
Tyra, why?
Gabe did bring in a origami paper for this.
This is how much I have left.
Well, I'll have to, like, on the break find some paper.
Well, I think I have kind of enough left for all the scandalousness of it all. And look, purple, yay! That's a cool color.
Tyra, don't make that a thing. Don't make it a thing. You know she wanted to name a lipstick that.
Lip virginity.
Oh, God. He smiled his luscious, crooked smile. Have you ever thought about what your first kiss might be like? Tookie's heart stopped. Only a million times. She was tempted to say, I guess so, she said, and trying to sound nonchalant. But I've always wondered, will people know afterwards? Will they be able to tell that I've done it? No, they won't. No, they won't, because that's not a thing. Please just stop talking. I never thought I'd say this, but just kiss her and stop talking.
And we can move on to the next chapter. Hopefully.
I mean, at least kissing shouldn't be weird for a probably almost 16-year-old. If it's another teenager that they're kissing. But somehow Tyra has made it weird.
Yeah. Several pages just on, kissing. Ooh.
That's literally all this chapter has been. Well, maybe not, Bravo smiled, but you'll know. And will it feel weird? Just kiss
the girl. Where's Sebastian?
I hope it will feel amazing, Bravo said, and I know the perfect place our first kiss can happen. Oh, I feel like you're just wimping out, dude. Just kiss her now. Our first kiss. That sounded so good. Yeah, that's how it works, Tookie. Where? Tookie whispered. I'll sweep you away where no one at Modelland can see us, Bravo said. I can't take anything that Bravo says seriously, so I just read it in this melodramatic, like, soap opera voice.
Now I feel like he's just gonna try to throw over the wall. He's a bad guy this whole time, you guys.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. We'll go on a magical ride down a secret zip zap that we hide under the new 7-7 stadium and that we hid under the new 7-7 stadium and land in the most beautiful fountain in Ladorna. Why are you still giving me exposition even in the not exposition parts, Tyra? Tookie tried her hardest to keep her face tempered and non-reactive, but inside her stomach twisted. Bravo knew where the emergency exit to Ladorno was hidden. Of course he does. The Dos Ex Machina, courtesy Bravo. I can make it happen after man attack tomorrow. Wait, Tookie frowned. A man attack? When? Bravo looked caught. Bestosteros aren't supposed to tell any Bellas about the man attacks challenge before it happens. But you're my lady now, so I don't think there's any harm. I don't think that was a stipulation. It's happening tomorrow. It's a big challenge for us. It's to measure Bestostero Intoxibello potential. Only a few of us every 5 years or so have Intoxibello powers, Bravo said. The man attack. I like how it's all one word, but man and attack are both capitalized. Is an early indication in determining which of us boys just might have the magic touch. It's ridiculous if you ask me, but if participating allows me to build more Modelland buildings and to be around you every day, sign me up. Then he moved closer. You're one of the competitors, Tookie, but all Bellas and Bestosteros are going to watch. Tookie's heart pounded harder and harder. You're one of the competitors. All Bellas watch. A secret zip zap through the 7-7 stadium. The term zip zap takes me out of any drama that was happening.
Yep.
This was the Unica's chance. Maybe their only chance. Tookie cleared her throat. Bravo, can you show me where the secret zip zap is? He blinked innocently. Before we go tomorrow? Why? Tookie swallowed hard. She couldn't look him in the eyes and blatantly lied, so she stared at his chipped nails instead. Oh, of course, I forgot about the chipped nails. I'd love to see the thing that will, lead us to our first kiss. The words came out in a messy jumble. Tookie was almost certain that Bravo could smell the guilt wafting off her skin. Tyra has such a way with words.
Yeah, it's just...
I guess we don't know if this was her or her collaborator. They have such a way with words. But he smiled brightly. Of course, Tookie. I'll show you the zip zap tonight. He gave her a warm smile, which just made her feel worse. Too much worse. She couldn't do this to him. Bravo, she said, peeking at his eyes. There's something I have to tell you. She had to tell Bravo the truth, even if he wouldn't like it. He just poured his heart out to her. He deserved honesty in return. What is it? Bravo asked gently. Tookie breathed in. It's about me and my friends. What in the hell is a Bestostero doing in here? A voice boomed through the door. You were only supposed to be there in a minute. This has been 20 minutes. 10, maybe 15. Through the door, interrupting them. Suddenly, CL appeared. Oh boy. The Unica tumbled in after her. CL's eyes were on Bravo, and her face was bright red. Get out, she screamed at him. Then she glared at Tookie. Do you know what happens to girls who break the rules? Do you know how much I want to kill you right now? CL raised her arms in the air, and fabric covered in fire shot from her fingertips. Everyone screamed. CL advanced toward Tookie and Bravo, her shape-shifting and twisting with power of chameleon. Her face morphed from a mixture of Ganeros and Aplauses to a gory combination of Chasts and Zarpesas. It then shifted to a mismatch of Dylan's, Piper's, Shiraz's, and Tookie's faces, her skin melting her tendons, popping her eyes, blazing bloody red. Steam puffed from her nostrils. She bared sharpened teeth and extended her hands toward them, her razor blade claws extended. The girls backed into a corner. They held onto one another for dear life. Shiraz started praying in Lebrian? How do we pronounce that? Lebrian? Dylan began reciting all of her brothers and sisters' names, saying, "Goodbye, I love you," after each name, and then she fainted. I forgot about the fainting thing. It's very selective when she faints.
Yep.
Piper closed her eyes and leaned her head back as if she had accepted her fate and just wanted whatever pain was approaching to be over quickly. "This is it," Tookie thought. "She's going to kill us all now." "CL," a voice screamed behind them. Persimmon stood in the doorway, her mouth in a tight line. "What in Belladonna's name are you doing?" She grabbed the Intoxibella's arm and dragged her out of the room. As she was being pulled away, CL glanced over her shoulder at the girls. When she shook her finger at them, her nails were still long and pointy talons. "I should just burn you alive," she hissed. "Over my dead body," Tookie thought. It took so long because I had to keep interjecting with what the hell is going on. Oh my god, chat. Oh no. Where am I? Where is it? Lordy. Let's see. Where did chat has been chatting since I was reading. Thank God I'm only here for 40 more minutes. Get out while you still can, Ellery. That dino is Dale.
Was it this one? Dino Dale.
I can't. I just can't. Yeah. I'll spoil this now. They don't kiss now. It happens later. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
The way she remembers Theophilus. I like how we've just committed to saying the name incorrectly because it sounds better.
Theophilus.
I mean, it would have been offensive, but, like, what's one more at this point? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you know. Like, girl, who is that? That's not a thing. This doesn't matter. We all know Bravo is the love interest here. This smacks of icky. You know it was going to be a love triangle if things kept going. Tyra, don't make that a thing. Lit virginity took years off my lifespan. Same. Oh, God. Allosaurus has never seen such bullshit before. Modelland. We offend everyone here, except the blind.
Yep.
Regular virginity shouldn't be a thing. Same. It's really not a thing. It's just invented by people to control other people. He didn't even acknowledge the weird wording. That virginity is one of the dumbest lines in the book.
Yep.
No one talks like this. They could just go to the movies together or something totally innocuous and Tyra would still find a way to make it weird. Oh, yeah.
They passed each other in the hallway, but did they?
Like in My Date with the President's Daughter, where she's fake making out with the boy to get away from the Secret Service. And then they report back to the president and they say something gross, like they were engaging in, what is it? Adolescent passion. And it's like, stop. Just stop.
Oh.
Just stop.
I feel like I remember seeing commercials that were like, My Date with the President's Daughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's the one with the girl who is the Alice in Alice's New Adventures in Wonderland and Will, you know, the guy who did the voice of Ron Stoppable and he was in Boy Meets World, that guy.
Oh.
Zip Zap sounds like a children's book character, and that's an insult to children's books, right? Guilt stank. Honestly, I think the collaborator is just here to share the blame. Yeah. Get to a point and something better. Stop talking. Yeah. Hi, Patrick. I accidentally deleted a rundown at work. Oh, no. It was nice working there while it lasted. Better start packing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I know that feeling, though. When you think you're gonna get fired, you never get fired. I've had moments like that where I've, like, messed up something as a stand-in and been like, well, I'm fired, and then you never get fired.
I technically was fired from one set, but that's because I stood out too much.
Oh, it wasn't anything you did. They just were like, you're a redhead.
Yeah, it was, I don't know exactly what I can say, but because NDAs. It was for a
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Salt Mountain saying, "I wish CL succeeded."
Oh my gosh.
Hillary's his mood.
But yeah, I basically stood out from it because I was supposed to be a tourist in a certain in a certain place, and I was just so much taller than everybody, where they were like, you could either try to stay and try your luck, or you could just go home now. And I was like, I'm gonna go home. It was 2 a.m. and I don't think they wrapped it till like 4:30 a.m.
Salt Mountain says, Gabe, if you have the man attack chapter, I'm so sorry. No, I think this is a creamy chapter, and then I get the man attack chapter.
Yeah.
I survived this and the man attack chapter.
And oh gosh, the next chapter is pretty long. Yeah, Man Attack and Heartache is the chapter after this one, and it's pretty long.
Man attack and heartache. Good luck. Sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing.
Yeah, good luck. You have to apologize to yourself because you're
apologize to me.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's 423 to 4. Oh my gosh, it's 27 pages.
I'm sorry. My chapter?
Yeah, your chapter is 27 pages.
Great.
My chapter is like 7.
Oh, well, at least that's good for you.
Well,
you had to get the really long chapter the last time there was a really long one.
But you've been having some really long chapters.
It's alternated, yeah. The chapters are just entirely too long. It's like Harry Potter levels of this chapter is too long.
Oh gosh, and then 38, my next one is only 10 pages.
Oh wow.
So like my last 3 chapters combined isn't going to equal this next one that you have to do, unfortunately. Unless you want to split it, then I can.
No, that's okay. I'll take the responsibility.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna not hold it. I was trying not to hold it in my wrist that's already kind of messed up because I'm like the book is, we're now close enough that the heavy part of the book is the left part of the book.
Oh no.
I'm designing a banner for the shop, a temporary banner. Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you. Need this to be center. There we go.
This book is exhausting me.
This book is exhausting me too.
Chapter 36. All hail Queen Creamy.
Sorry.
Are we there yet, Creamy? Not yet, Miracle, Miss De La Crème answered warily. Just lie back and relax, okay? It's hard to relax when I stink so bad. I know. The De La Crème woman did smell. All the pilgrims smelled like a Peppertown sewer on its foulest of days. The body odor had gotten worse because of the intense physical labor they had all endured recently. Creamy had created her own mountain monarchy after the group had elevated her to the position of secret weapon to get them to Modelland. And Creamy, never known to let an opportunity wither, had leveraged that status to be elevated, quite literally. She had ordered the pilgrims to fashion a double sedan chair from scraps found on the divide, which they did, to carry the De La Crèmes up the mountain, which they were doing. It was a small price to pay for Creamy's brave confrontation with the pawn monster, after all. Remind me, why are we hauling Queenie and Dopical? Lynn complained while trudging up the steep incline, the post from the throne-like chair digging into her shoulder. Break requested, Creamy, Kamada yelled. Creamy jutted her mud-caked chin to the air. Request approved. As they lowered the women to the ground, Creamy gazed up the mountain. The peak still seemed so far away, but ahead of them, the scenery changed radically. A lush garden of flowers no one in the group could identify greeted them. The aroma of the buds was almost overpowering, strong citrus that stung their nostrils, and a sweet aroma of honey that made their eyes water. Miracle twisted around the floral bushes and deeply inhaled their scent. Yum, Creamy, they all smell so good. I want to pick bouquets of them. She trilled, kicking her leg up, smacking it into her ear. Bouquets, sweetie. You want to pick bouquets, Creamy said tiredly. Suddenly, a haunting, keening sound snaked around the group. Lynn froze. It sounds like a woman moaning in pain. Look there, Abigail said. She pointed her hairy arm to a small, well-tended cemetery made up of 6 old polished marble tombstones with elaborate engravings.
Stop body shaming for having excess hair. It happens.
Creamy marched up to the headstones and stared at the markers. Muse Melodia, Muse Prancia, Muse Chromia, Muse Dramatia, Muse Fabricia, and Muse Shitetia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wow, who were they? Lynn whispered, leaning closer to touch one of the stones. At her touch, the headstone glowed a golden yellow. The burial ground began to pulse. Kamada pulled his shank spear from his knapsack and crouched into a defensive position. Then came a sound of hundreds of pitter-pattering feet. Defensive mode, Creamy ordered. Harriet, Lynn, and Hunchy jumped in front of Miracle and Creamy. I mean, yeah, I know he wants to eat Piper's liver, but can we not be mean to the lizard man?
Can we not? Scaly lizard man. You know that thing on TikTok? It was like, this was the character that we thought was going to attract everybody. And who is everybody? And who am I interested in? And then it's just like you put up like the random character that you had like a celebrity crush or a fictional character crush on. And like maybe it was Once Upon a Time where it was like, this is the character. And it was like Captain Hook. And it's like, and then who do I have a crush on? It's like, yes, the age appropriate, conventionally attractive man, Captain Hook. Definitely not scaly lizard man and it's Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that makeup and I'm just like, oh, that's great makeup. And I'm just like, oh.
I do love Rumpelstiltskin though. He is a great character.
Oh gosh. I remember people made fun of like his son's name is Balefire and isn't it? Yeah, and people would be like when your girlfriend doesn't talk to you for a few days and it's just him going Bay.
Yeah. The writers were clearly not up on the lingo of the day. They didn't see that one coming.
They did not. But it was great for like viral videos.
It was great. So it all worked out.
Yay. The tombstones began to emit angry sparks. A primal scream ran out, but it wasn't coming from the tombstones. It was Abigail. She was looking up the mountain toward Modelland. I have taken your crap far for too long, Abigail screamed, but I have had it up to here. I should have known you wouldn't help me change the world, to spread the word of how beautiful a hairy body can be, and now I have had enough. Harriet ran over to Abigail and tried to soothe her, but Abigail scuttled towards the rocks and picked up something shiny and metal. It looked like a dagger. What are you doing, baby? Her mother said. From the look in Abigail's eyes, it was clear she couldn't hear her mother. Her mind had gone elsewhere. Abigail yanked at her spoiled clothing, pulling everything off. She stood there with
Who is this?
Abigail.
Oh no, this is the Abigail scene. We were warned.
Oh gosh. She gripped the shiny dagger. Abby, baby, Harriet pleaded, please don't hurt. Oh my gosh. We can change the world. Get them to accept us. Abigail.
Oh, so sad.
Oh gosh. Abigail was like, you're right, and put the knife gently down, and she decided to float away. Just kidding.
That's not what happened.
She took the knife and placed it into herself.
Oh, God.
No, Harriet screamed, but instead of...
We're all screaming.
Oh, okay. Instead of...
If you're uncomfortable reading it, I can read it
for you. Oh, no,
you.
it's fine. And I'm trying to just think of, like, better... instead of inserting it into herself, she began to scrape her body with it. A tuft of her thick underarm hair tumbled to the ground. With lightning speed, Abigail shaved her sideburns, her arms, and then her legs. She finished by removing all the hair from her head. Every trace of hair, eyebrows included, had gone and lay in clumps at her feet. Why? Harriet yelled.
Text says, nope, 10-year-old in the room. Where I'm like, save the 10-year-old.
Oh, she just shaved herself. That
She didn't. Yeah, she just shaved her arm hair off.
Okay, I misread some things. Yeah, she just yeah, she shaved herself. My bad. I thought it was going elsewhere.
Milo said, imagine how painful that would be. I know, right? That would suck.
Why? Harriet yelled. She could barely stand. Lynn held her upright. Mom, I'm giving it all, minus the Mom, I'm giving it all, minus the portions deemed inappropriate to hair for pitter patter, Abigail said calmly. Now that she was completely without hair, the group could see Abigail could see the Abigail who had been hiding all along. Pretty, Hunchy slobbered, ogling Abigail, who is a child.
Child.
The organ eater was wrong, though. Abigail was not simply pretty. She was out of this world, breathtakingly beautiful, absolutely, undeniably, soul-stirringly stunning. Kamada smiled at her for the first time since the journey had again. He's looking at an unclothed child. Creamy's expression, however, was the polar opposite of those of the rest of the crew. With Jessamine out of the way, Miracle had become the most stunning girl in the group. But now, with countless flicks of a makeshift razor, that was no longer the case. Creamy shot Abigail a jealous look of unaliving. As the group continued to stare, the air filled with the sounds of feet flitting toward them, and in the distance the source of the noise appeared. It was a spider-like creature, 3 times the size of the Peppertown city bus. But instead of 8 legs, the creature had thousands. And the legs looked human. They stuck out of the creature's body like spikes on a porcupine. When the monster reared up, it revealed a soft, fleshy underbelly. There was an immense leech sucker in the middle. Tiny but numerous sharp toenail-shaped teeth rimmed the opening. "Oh my," Creamy said, showing a hint of fear for the very first time. "It's some sort of leg leech." Abigail screamed. "We should run," Harriet screamed. Hunchy howled. Strangely, Lynn heckled the monster. "I should have dragged my cheating husband up here. He is a leg man after all. He would love you, and the leggy ones always want to take your husband." The leg leech glared at the group. Then it extended 2 of its legs from its body so that they stuck further out than the multitudes of others and clicked them together. "What's it doing?" Kamada whispered, standing behind Creamy for protection. "It's snapping its leg fingers," cried Miracle, and started snapping the same rhythm the creature had. The creature seemed almost delighted with Miracle. It turned to the others, and they all started snapping too. Finally, the creature looked at Lynn, who wasn't snapping. It waited. "Huh?" Lynn looked confused. "Hurry up," shouted Miracle. "Snap your fingers like me, Lynn." Lynn began snapping with her right hand to the rhythm of the leg leech's head-bopping beat. The creature seemed pleased, and motioned for Miracle and Lynn to join in with both hands. Miracle complied, snapping double time while doing her signature high kicks, but Lynn just could not double snap to perfection, given she had lost her left hand's middle finger weeks before. Harriet stopped snapping and walked over to Lynn to help her out. The creature contorted, then reared back and exposed its toenail sucker mouth.
Why? With the toe and thumb sucking? Why?
A forked tendril extended from the center. 2 sharp toenail clipper blades at the end of the fork made scissoring actions, slicing both Harriet and Lynn at their hips.
Oh my god. Oh, I hope
That's
Texas
literally
10-year-old is not in the room right now.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. That's literally what Abigail said. "Oh my gosh." "Do something," Abigail screamed. "Do something, Creamy. I'm your leader, not a magician, dear." What's her voice? "I'm your leader, not a magician, dear," Creamy said dryly. The leg leech was happy with its little meal. Maybe, kind of. The creature balanced itself. It began to waltz in front of the surviving pilgrims. "I know how to save us, Creamy," Miracle yelled. "Dancing." Creamy looked at her relieved. "Do your thing, Miracle baby. Dance in your heart and in your body." Miracle gazed up at her mother, touched that for the first time Creamy supported her dancing. She proudly ran in front of the leg leech and began a rousing back and forth dance routine with Bellissima in her arms. Slowly and joyfully, the leg leech retreated, backing away like 1,000 ballerinas in unison. If anyone had been standing a bit closer, they would have noticed that swaying along with Miracle and Bellissima was one of the ancient tombstones, the one marked Mus Prancia to be exact. Just then, a ring of fire encircled the cemetery, Miracle and Bellissima. Oh my lord!" Creamy began to run in hysterical circles. "My babies! Someone get my babies!" The circle of flames burst high into the air and amassed into a huge fireball, freeing Miracle and Bellissima. The fireball then flew straight towards Kamada and Abigail. Kamada grabbed Abigail's hand in panic and started to run. Creamy shouted, "Run that way, Kamada!" Kamada looked disoriented and ran straight into the flames, just as Creamy had instructed. In seconds, nothing of Kamada and Abigail was left, not even ash. "The beauty balance is restored," Creamy said under her breath. Miracle stood in shock. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Creamy walked over and slapped Miracle hard across both cheeks. We did not come all this way for you to use your darn mind. Look at Bellissima. She is handling this so much better than you. Pull it together and let's go. Okay, Creamy, Miracle whimpered, but as her mother turned her back, Miracle took her... She,
oh no.
she found a secret zipper on Bellissima's back and opened it. As Creamy, Miracle, Bellissima, and Hunchy, the last 4 surviving pilgrims, traipsed through the field, Miracle began to stare at something in the distance. Ooh, look at the pretty lights. A terrified scowl appeared on Creamy's face. Those aren't lights, idiot. Those are more fireballs. 4 fireballs raged towards the group, one for each of them, even Bellissima. Miracle and Creamy ran one way and Hunchy ran the other. The fireballs landed, throwing massive sparks everywhere, and then silence. After a few minutes, Hunchy opened his eyes. He wiggled his toes, moved his fingers. He was still alive. He called out, waiting for Creamy's answer, but none came. Hunchy jumped up from the mud and shook himself off. All that running and dodging had worked up his appetite. He followed the sweet scent, not of blood orange, but of the pancreas and thymus glands that lived within one particular platinum-headed Unica, and he resumed his trek to Modelland alone.
Wait. Run that by me one more time. There's one lone survivor and it's Hunchy?
Yeah, the lizard man. Allegedly. I think Creamy and Miracle are still alive. They're probably just hiding so Hunchy will leave them alone.
Okay.
Even though why would you have probably one of the strongest members of your team just walk away?
The randomness coming out of 10-year-old's mouth right now. Oh gosh.
Sorry.
Bellissima is a doll, Creamy. I would hope she's better behaved than I forgot that Bellissima was the doll.
Yep.
Than your human daughter, Jeebus.
I can't believe it. Sorry, for some reason, I think I got Creamy and Crunchy's voices mixed up, so I just did kind of what are you doing, dear?
You know that thing where it's like when people are married for so long, they start to look alike? Maybe they just started to sound alike.
Yeah, after a while.
Spoilers, but I don't think we see Hunchy again after this. No, the fact that I'm rooting for the guy that literally wants to eat the organs of one of the main characters tells you how poorly these main characters are written.
Oh, poor... Or I don't want to say poor Hunchy, but like, I want to learn more about Hunchy. Maybe he was going to be in the sequels and he was going to learn to not want to eat the insides of someone.
I just feel bad that they're calling him Hunchy.
Yeah. Well, oh gosh, Avery has a long road in front of her and I wish you the best of luck with that.
All right, here we go. Do you want to keep an eye on chat? If you see me commenting and you're like, oh, wow, Avery's reading and commenting, it's Gabe.
It's me.
37, chapter 37, Man Attack and Heartache. Late that night, Tookie and the other Unicas huddled in a circle just outside the D. So, you're sure that where the emergency zip zap is? Dylan looked So, you're sure that's where the emergency zip zap is? Dylan looked uncertain. There was something about Dylan's voice that bothered Tookie. For the 10th time, Dylan, yes, Bravo took me there to see it. I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself. Oh, I see. We don't get to see them go to the zip zap. We just got to see 10 pages of them flirting. I saw the zip zap with my own eyes, and it's not far from the Orb Arena. All one word, Orb and Arena are capitalized. Where the Man Attack, all one word, all capitalized, is happening tomorrow. Are you competing? Piper asked. Correct, Piper, Tookie replied. Weird way to respond to that. Then you leave with Pretty Boy after Attack Man without Unicas? Shiraz sighed. No, I can't do that, Tookie said sharply, feeling a rush of nausea as soon as she spoke. As much as she tried to tamp the feelings down, it was undeniable. She was in love. A love so deep she never thought it could happen to her.
You're 15. Like,
I know 15-year-olds do think they're in love for the first time. When your first boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, you're like, this is it. I figured it out.
Oh gosh.
Not that I would know. I didn't date in high school.
Same.
Barely date now.
What is dating?
What is it? We don't know. Where was it? But in order to survive, she would have to leave Bravo and Modelland forever. Gasp. She sighed and looked at the Unicas. She didn't want to be in this life, love, or death situation. Oh my god. Caring. And yet she was. We're going to take the zip zap, Tookie told the Unicas, but we need to create a distraction tomorrow so we can get to it without getting caught. You guys have seen the Orb Arena, right? Yes, in First Day Tour, Shiraz said. That crazy egg building with open steel and exposed wire. Right, Tookie said. Maybe Piper can scout it out while Man Attack is going on. The exposed wires will make it easier for you to follow the trail to the main lighting switchboard. You need to find the on-off switch to create a blackout. Piper squinted. A blackout? This response rankled Tookie too. Duh, she snapped. Tookie is... I said it last time. She's so inconsistently written. She's like quiet and nice one minute, and the next minute she's like, duh.
They're gonna be like, you're acting like Zarpessa now.
I thought you were the intelligent one, she says to Piper.
Oh my gosh.
Piper recoiled. She exchanged a look with Shiraz and Dylan. Then she fiddled with the puzzle game in her hands and said, what if I don't find the switchboard? You will, Dylan assured her. You is being Princess of Sans color, Shiraz whooped. Sorry, my brain mixed their names together. Piper narrowed her eyes at her. She seemed annoyed too. There's no such thing. This is Modelland, Piper, Dylan said. Anything's possible here. Even a forget-a-girl being adored by the most wondrous, lovely, remember-a-boy in the world. Tookie thought. Tookie, Piper said, did you hear what I said? Tookie turned to Piper and blinked. Huh? Piper's top lip curled over her teeth. Duh, she mimicked. I was saying that Dylan needs to be ready for a fainting spell in case we need a diversion. Isn't that right? Yeah, Tookie straightened up. And that's when you'll find the switch, Piper. And Shiraz, you'll be our natural night vision so we can find our way out. Then Shiraz peered at Tookie. No, I like this. This plan is all goosey-loosey. Natural night vision. What am I forgetting about Shiraz?
In Candelabra, they were like, or it was really dark, and so she has really good vision.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. It feels like a lifetime ago now. Look, I'm doing my best here, Tookie gritted her teeth. You all elected me leader, so I'm leading. If you want someone else to lead, you should have picked me. You shouldn't have picked me. It looks like someone's abusing their power, Belladonna. Tookie, Dylan muttered, rolling her eyes at Tookie so hard that only the whites showed. That is a very intense roll of the eye. I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Zarpessa. Chase. Dylan, Tookie retorted. No, I like Unica's fighting. Shiraz took Dylan's and Tookie's hands and made them touch. Shiraz, we don't have time for this, Tookie said, yanking her hand away from Dylan. Do you want to die or do you want to live? Live, I want. She is Yoda now. Then we have to be sharp. Shiraz wrapped an arm around Tookie's shoulder. You tense, no, because of Bravo? Tookie snuck a peek at Shiraz, surprised that she had guessed her secret so easily. It wasn't a secret. Instead of saying anything, Tookie let out a stifled sob. Dylan's face softened. She wrapped an arm around Tookie too. Maybe he can come with us. They don't let him. Just leave him.
Leave him. He's fine.
He's fine. Get a new one. This just made another rush of emotion swell in Tookie's heart. She hated that she was leaving Bravo behind. She hated that she'd finally found someone amazing, Bravo and Modelland, and had to give it up. Modelland, okay. Yes, I want to give up the hellscape that is Modelland. I don't want to leave. But Tookie slowly shook her head and held back the tears. She knew she would render her a weak leader. No, this is it, girls. Bravo's in... Sorry. Bravo's in heaven here. Surrounded by Modelland architecture, she said. He's living his dream. What we need to be focusing on is for ourselves is not living a dream, but just living. Pure survival. We have to get out of this place before we are killed. It's as simple as that. The next morning, Tookie stood at the bathroom mirror. I don't know why, but the little M for Modelland that like is the breakup for like to signify like the next art. I don't know why it bothers me. I think it's just because of just like ugh.
She probably saw something like that in another book and it's like whimsy.
I mean, it wouldn't bother me if I didn't hate everything about Modelland with a passion.
What is this word? Why is this word here? What is the in this book? Jeez Louise, Tyra.
The next morning, Tookie stood at the bathroom mirror holding her toothbrush in her hand. Something seemed different that morning. No longer did the sight of her toothbrush make her feel a pang of rejection. In fact, when she looked in the mirror, she thought she saw a miracle, a real miracle, one that had nothing to do with the miracle from back home. What does that mean? Her body no longer resembled a Peppertown twig. There were slight curves at the base of her hips. Oh, she's eating something that's not whipped cream. Good for her. The same hips that had tickled when Bravo had smoothed down her eyebrows with his dampened thumb. Stop. Am I hallucinating, she wondered. Creamy said that the only thing that would develop on me would be a larger forehead as my hairline receded from age. Is this mirror warped? Tookie ran her small hands up and down the mirror. The surface was smooth as the first day she arrived at Modelland. Yes, I'm definitely hallucinating. Crazier still, Tookie could swear that she hated to even think the word about herself. The word Dr. Erica had used to describe her. Guru Ganero's voice blared through the air. All you pure and prude Bellas, it's time to lose it. Your man attack virginity, I mean. Report to the Orb Arena at once, and don't forget to bring protection. Elbow and knee pads, that is. He snickered lewdly.
We need to add a counter for mentioning virginity.
God help us all.
Oh.
Good thing that was covered.
Yay.
Because it would have spilled on literally all of the wires.
Oh no.
Every girl in the D seemed surprised except Dylan, Shiraz, Piper, and Tookie. Try to kick some testosterone prissy boy ass, Dylan whispered. Mentions of ass, or butt, or whatever word you like to use. Yes, Tookie, Piper added with a smirk. We'd appreciate departing this fantastic land with a victory under the Unicus Centura belts. I'll try, Tookie whispered. Suddenly, she felt a presence behind her. When she turned, she saw CL standing in the middle of the bathroom, glaring at her. All the red, blue, and purple water spouting out of the holes. It's purple when you mix the red and the cold and the hot.
Yeah.
It just makes me think about youth pastor would always say, like, boys are blue, girls are red, no purple. And it's just like, ugh.
That's who Tyra is basing some of the characters off of, I guess.
Water spouting out of the holes in the mirrors came to an abrupt stop. It's almost like I keep forgetting these weird things about the architecture because it doesn't matter. As if even the liquid were terrified of CL's presence. Tookie said, taking 2 steps backward and hitting the sink behind her. CL stalked up to Tookie and grabbed her wrist. I'm here to collect you. You're one of the contestants for Man Attack today. CL yanked Tookie out of the bathroom and walked her down Beautification Boulevard. Banners for the 7-7 tournament, which would take place the next day, fluttered in the wind. With each step, Tookie considered the could-have-beens and if-onlys that would have meant a different experience at this magical place. I could have been free of all this dread and doom if only I'd been born looking like Miracle. That's not... Don't worry, CL said. Miracle didn't get in. Or are we saying that she literally... I guess she literally took her place, but I don't know.
Or because it's like, oh, who did I replace kind of thing.
Maybe. Don't worry, CL said in a cackling voice. The torture won't last that long. It'll all be over in a flash. Tookie's mouth fell open. Was the sacrifice going to happen now? CL turned to Tookie as they walked. After Man Attack is over, you and your little friends better come straight to me, Tookie froze. There was no way in hell she was meeting CL. CL leaned closer. And if you don't find me, I'll find you. Luckily, they had reached the orb arena. A mannequin stepped out from the doorway. In here, she said, pushing Tookie up a staircase and into a smaller room through a door marked Bella Prep Zone. The orb arena loomed around her. A lattice of metal, powerful spotlights ran along the outer frame, bouncing beams of artificial light off the structure and illuminating a long wooden plank that traversed the orb. Hundreds of seats were attached to the metal struts on the frame. The seats were empty now. Tookie wondered when the Unicas would arrive. As soon as they did, Piper would scout out the place for the switchboard. She'd report back to Shiraz, who would tell Dylan, and then Dylan would faint. When Piper turned the lights out, Tookie would know to meet them at the southwest corner of the Orb Arena, and Shiraz's night vision would guide them to the 7-7 Stadium. This is a long, long sentence. Where the Zip Zap was. Strip, the mannequin said.
2 chapters in a row.
Tookie stared at her. Excuse me? Didn't you know? The mannequin's lip curved into a smirk. The man attack is performed in one's underwear. She pointed at the table. Didn't we already have a man attack? We already had one. She should know this.
When?
Didn't we have one before with, maybe I'm thinking of something else. No, I'm thinking of the time where they were on the runaway, whatever that one class was, where they're running.
Oh.
She pointed at the table. There was a stiff bra and panty set marked Tookie that was made with complicated strips of fabric. How do I put this on? Tookie asked helplessly. Figure it out, the mannequin said in a cold voice. The other contestants will be here shortly. Who else is competing? Tookie asked, and the mannequin had already marched away. Later, 2 figures, but the mannequin had already marched away. Seconds later, 2 figures stepped through the door. Tookie's heart dropped. Chaste and Zarpessa. Zarpessa looked fresh and polished, nothing like the ragged wild girl who'd been caught in her very own personal Lumiere nightmare many nights before. This was the first time Tookie had seen her since the episode. She wondered if Zarpessa had spent the whole time in the feds. Zarpessa glanced over at Tookie, but her face didn't register irritation or malice. Neither a nasty look nor a wicked comment came. Wow, she's been reformed, Tookie thought. Are you okay? Tookie asked, walking over to her. She would never have had the courage to do that in Metopia, nor would she have wanted to, but a lot had changed since they'd been at Modelland. How? Without the other night, I mean. We all do strange things at night sometimes. I sleepwalk, in fact, so I can understand what you're going through. In a flash, Zarpessa's face turned from meek and malicious. She moved so close to Tookie that their noses almost touched. You understand. You understand nothing. You have no idea what it's like to be me. You can't, because you and your useless friends have never been on top. And stop being all sweet, pretending like you aren't thrilled about what happened to me that night. When Dr. Erica took me away, did you tell anyone about my family? Tookie blinked hard. I didn't say a word, I swear. Yeah, right, Zarpessa's eyes narrowed. Even though it was a detriment to your own health, I said nothing. If you ever try to say you understand me again, I will cut your tongue out, because you freakazoid, unfortunate-looking, water-headed baby self can't, and you never will.
If you wanted character development, Tyra, this is the time for character development and character growth with Zarpessa.
All right. Then Zarpessa spun away, shoulders squared, and her hands repeatedly opening and closing into fists. Chase followed, shooting Tookie a nasty look. You weren't so crazy about Zarpessa the other night, Tookie wished. She could remind Chase, remembering how the girl had taken a big step away from Zarpessa in the throes of her breakdown. I mean, she was kind of a danger to herself and others. I don't think that's like a...
Yeah, that's not something where it's like, oh, you could have stepped in. It's like, no. But...
Zarpessa and Chase stepped through the door to the orb arena. and out onto the wooden plank, testing how it felt. Chase stared, bouncing up and down on the plank, higher than possible in regular gravity. A giant scoreboard loomed in the sphere. Tookie spotted her name immediately. She would compete last. And then, to her horror, she spotted her competitor. 3 guesses to who her competitor is, and the first 2 don't count.
Bravo.
That's correct.
Oh my god.
The only named Bestosterone that we know, really.
Yeah.
Man Attack, Modelland, Bestosterone, Chase versus Alexander, Zarpesa versus Webb, Tookie versus Bravo. Okay, I guess those 2 were technically named at one point, I think.
Oh,
But
I think.
it doesn't matter. They literally don't matter.
Yep.
No, Tookie whispered, anyone but Bravo. Within minutes, the seats filled with excited Bellas and enthusiastic Bestosteros, as well as a sprinkling of gurus. Tookie spotted Guru Pacifico, his eyebrows looking as if they were having a conversation with the ebony-skinned Bestostero on his right, while his mouth seemed to converse with the hazel-eyed Bella behind him. Guru Applause's handhead, don't forget the handhead, waved in the air like a beauty queen on parade float. The girls, ow, that hurt my wrist.
Oh no.
The girls disappeared back into the prep zone and put on their undergarments. Chase and Zarpesa fit into theirs nicely, but Tookie just looked ashy and stick-like. Shoot, I'm going to have to escape in this lingerie, Tookie thought. Of course she does. She hated the idea of leaving through the zip-zap in just her skivvies. After they'd changed, Zarpesa, Chase, and Tookie stepped out onto the prep zone and were assaulted by the roar of rowdy crowd noise. Bellas had taken off their centuras and were using them as flags, and everyone, of course, was staring at the 6 scantily clad girls and boys, for the Bestosteros had donned couture briefs made of strips of material like those the girls' costumes. I don't know what this means. I don't know what I'm supposed to be picturing, but I also don't want to picture it because they're 15.
Just imagine them in hoodies and sweatpants with like random straps.
So many clothes, so all the clothes. The brief exposed slits of their buttocks and left bare all their rippling muscles.
I love watching myself because it's slightly delayed, so I'm just
Yeah.
looking at myself and I'm like,
Yeah, that's always fun. If you would rather look at the live feed from this, you can, but
all right, this is fine too.
okay.
Since I can like look down while I'm making these.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. Tookie peeked at Bravo. He looked so amazing and gorgeous. Not just amazing, but amazing and gorgeous.
Oh,
She felt the urge to throw up.
he's so pretty.
I've never wanted to throw up when I see a pretty person.
Yeah, well, I guess after being on set so many times and seeing all the beautiful people, it's just like, second nature to not want to do that.
Welcome, pretty ladies and even prettier gentlemen. Bienvenue to Man Attack. I think she tried to take the Portuguese word bem-vindos, which means welcome, but then made it not.
Or I think bienvenue is French or Italian.
Okay, that makes sense. Because bem-vindos is welcome in Portuguese, but I was like, that's not what I just read.
Oh.
To Man
It's
Attack.
French.
It's French.
That's what Milo said.
Okay, thank you, Milo. Gennaro Nars's voice boomed from the sky. The crowd yelled and stomped their feet. Gennaro lowered to the orb arena, standing on top of a hovering podium shaped like the male and female gender symbols.
Oh, like the circle with the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, is there, like, holes in the middle? Like, is it overlapping? Like, do you have to step in certain places? Is it, like, a big board with the symbols painted on it? Like, I have questions.
Oh, I'm going to go with board with the symbols painted on it.
Okay. It's been a while since the two sexes got to have a mix-up like tonight. I'm sure everyone's hormones are raging more than mine.
They're 15.
They're 15. Just then, Tookie spotted Just then, Tookie spotted a flash of white hair between the steel beams. Piper! She was looking for the switch. She glanced at Bravo again, standing across the plank with Alexander and Webb, her eyes filled with tears. Naras continued, as it has been played for eons, there are 4 phases to the man attack. First, the touch. Oh yes, contact, people, between man and woman. Children. They're children. Second, wardrobe. But if you want, you can stay half nude. Fun for the crowd. Oh yes, indeed. But point deduction for the players. Third, maquillage makeup. That is foundation for the girls, mandation for the boys. Ugh. Can someone get me some? My color is Ivory Sands number 3. Oh, and watch out for those pesky explosive lads and lasses. And fourth, and finally, the snaps. I can't snap my fingers with this thing on. The photo finish. Yes, we all take pictures here because they last longer. Bravo, I want to have your babies. We can start trying right there on the place right now. A Bella behind applause shouted from the crowd.
He is a teenager.
Child. Under 18.
I just looked at this picture of Linda Hamilton and Rob Perlman for comfort.
Yeah, look at the Beauty and the Beast picture for comfort.
Ooh, sorry.
That's okay. It does that.
But this is what I'm talking about, just so everyone knows.
This was sent to me by a lovely viewer, and I got to cover the pilot last night. So there will be more episodes of that coming from the future because I'm invested. A couple of Bestosteros whistled lasciviously. Tookie noticed Bravo trying to catch her eye down the plank, but she pointedly looked away. She'd thought she could avoid him today, escape without having to have a conversation. It would be easier that way, after all. Cleaner. Fewer tears, less desire to stay, but now she had to battle him. Maybe Piper will find the switch before I have to go through with it, she thought. Maybe we'll get out of here before I have to face him. One more thing, Gennaro said, balancing primly on the masculine and feminine symbol plank. Please, boys and girls, no strikes to the face or the boys' nether regions. Why did he... Neither nether regions. Neither nether regions.
I'm just gonna take a drink.
Yeah, just go for it.
Star's asking, why are there so many trigger warnings?
Because this book has so many trigger warnings. We don't know why they're here either. They're just basically anything that you could potentially be triggered by, whether it be gore and violence to sexualization of underage minors, which is what a minor is, that's redundant, to SHED, all the things. It's a lot. Yeah. Racism, ableism, all the things. They can't hit the face or crotch. Yeah, he could have just said that, but not for Tyra. Pain of that kind is not beauty. Now on with the show. Up first, Chased from Modelland and Alexander from Bestosterone. The rest of the competitors return to your prep zones. The crowd roared again, and Tookie and Zarpesa walked back into the girls' zone. A buzzer sounded, and Chase walked a few paces more out onto the plank on the Bella side. Alexander moved on the plank from the Bestostero side, and Chase stood seductively and stared 15 at her opponent, giving him a full dose of her sexual power.
Like, not 2 times in one sentence, it's but she's 15 moment.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Yeah, Star, I'm so sorry. There's no warning anybody for Modelland. We got to the point where I was listing out triggers and it was so many that it was just a block of text that would have just covered Gabe's face, so we have trigger warnings all. The crowd roared again, Wait, that's where I was. Centaura motioned seductively. Her Centaura motioned seductively, looking like a beckoning finger. Ugh. Look at you, girl, knowing the ropes, Gennaro said. Methinks somebody took part in the new civilian Modelland Man Attack summer program in Beignet. Chaste posed sexily, 15, hands in her hair, one toe pointed. She was truly a sight to behold, 15. Tookie saw Alexander's knees buckle just slightly, 15. Be warned, Alexander, Chaste is Randy Hard Up Candy, Gennaro announced in falsetto. Listen up, first theme, fitness battle, yoga versus karate. You both have opened new businesses next door to each other. Who refuses to go bankrupt? Get ready for the touch. Suddenly, there was a knock on the Bella Prep Zone door. They have not explained what they're actually doing yet. For all of this, I still don't really know. Zarpesa turned and answered. Oh, she chirped, a welcoming grin on her face. Well, hello there. I don't think you're supposed to be in here, but Tookie's heart flipped. It was Bravo. Bravo pushed past Zarpesa, barely noticing her. Tookie, isn't this incredible? He grabbed his hands. They put us together. I'm excited and nervous. Bravo turned to her. I like the pink ones. The pink one. I like the pink, the springy colors for going into March. I like it.
Yay.
Chat, let us know what these can be named. Let's see. I lost my place. Bravo turned to her. Zarpesa, right? Would you mind... Wait. Would you mind going out in the hall so I can speak with Tookie in private? Zarpesa looked like she was about to laugh. Really? Why? Bravo stared at her until a look of disbelief crossed her face. You can't be serious. She jutted a thumb at Tookie. Her? Yeah, her, Bravo said, clenching his jaw. And she has a name that I know you know. Zarpesa pushed through the door and slammed it hard. Bravo's hand caressed Tookie's shoulder, and he began to sink his fingers into her back muscles. Tookie... Tookie let out a breath. His touch had made that tickling in her hips return. What's the matter, pretty girl? Pre-competition jitters? I hate that they say competition. Now the hands massaged Tookie's scalp. His hands tangled in her curly, wavy, straight, frizzy hair. Understandable. Gennaro loves to just throw new Bellas out there and watch them struggle. Let me tell you how this game really works, so you won't be too surprised. That center plank? He pointed at it. That's your friend. Stay on it. You fall off while we're playing, you lose 10 points. See? He gestured out the window. A piercing buzzer sounded as Chase and Alexander ran at top speed toward each other. When Chase was 5 feet from the boy, she grabbed Alexander and gave him a big, wet, sloppy kiss on the lips, then pushed him off the plank. Alexander tumbled towards the ground, but seemed to land on the invisible trampoline, suddenly bouncing back into the air. Anti-gravity, Bravo explained, much better than circus nets. He pointed at Chase. Wow, she may be loose, but her game is tight. I also hate this book, Natty.
Yeah. Oh, Laser's here. Good day.
Hey, Laser. Sorry.
Yeah,
hello, and I'm sorry.
People are fighting in their underwear is all Laser needs to know.
Underage people are fighting in their underwear.
Yes. Oh, it's almost 8 a.m.
Woo, good morning.
Where Laser is now. 15, Tyra.
He pointed at... Wait. We're just supposed to run at each other at full speed and just touch hands or something, minimum. But, by the way, that's not how I'm going to kiss you. Tookie's stomach churned like a blender on high. Bravo, she said in a tiny voice. I really need to tell you something. But Bravo didn't appear to hear her, explaining more of the challenge. Next, clothes come shooting out of those 3 holes in the struts. He pointed to places on the struts above the plank, to the left and right and center. We have to assemble a high fashion and on theme, don't forget, outfit from what's thrown at us. You have to think really fast. Chase and Alex will be trying to pick an outfit that matches their yoga martial arts theme. As Alexander struggled to get back up onto the plank, the 3 holes on the struts began firing clothes and at Chase. A black diamond-studded belt with black tassels streamed out of the hole to the right, and ruched leotards came out of the one to the left. Raw silk karate parachute pants came from the hole up above the matching jacket. The matching jacket from the left, stretch pants, and even yoga mats flew out of all the holes. Hang on, my nose is running. I need to get a tissue. That's what I forgot to bring in here.
Not the tissues.
Not the tissues. How's chat doing?
Laser's talking about something better. They're talking about the show Bluey with the blue dog. And
I've never seen it, but I've heard people talk about how great it is.
I've seen it. I've seen clips, and there's one where there's this. I think there's one of the characters is pretending to be an old woman and like haggle and like uses their powers for good and and helps haggle a like a little motor scooter thing. And the person who wanted it was being mean to the dad character. So it's like, haha, they paid a lot of money for this and they were mean. So.
Oh
yeah,
no, the chapter isn't over, Darth. I just need to
No.
go grab something real quick.
It's missing episodes. Why is Bluey missing episodes?
There was some kind of weird censorship thing with Bluey, right?
What?
Which is odd because it's literally a little kid show.
Yeah, but but you know, America.
Oh, America.
Yep.
Ooh, that was my neck.
Oh.
How are you wearing a Life South shirt?
Oh yeah, from Dragon Con.
Which year was that one?
I can't remember. I think it was in the last 2 to 3 years. I think
might
it
have
was.
been I'm trying to figure out if it's the same one that I got, because if it was the 2019 year, then that was when I gave blood the one time and then thought I was gonna die.
But yeah, I get a new T-shirt every year, so I don't have to buy new ones.
I'll do it again if I end up doing Dragon Con this year and just be a little bit more.
Oh, there are funny parts, Darth Sidious says. I can't wait for the funny parts of this book.
Oh boy. It quickly became clear that Chase had picked the part of karate instructor since she was putting on the white jacket and pants and was holding onto the black diamond-studded belt. As Alexander struggled to his feet, Chase hurled a mass of yoga clothing into his face. He had no choice but to assemble the feminine pieces into an outfit. Chase scores a point in my book, Gennaro commented, picking kick-ass over stretch-ass. Bravo, Tookie pleaded. I need to... Hold up. Bravo tenderly squeezed her hand. Now it's time for the makeup phase. You don't need much, just a little cream-flavored gloss, maybe, so I can taste it when we kiss. I hate it. It's going to cons, maybe not as much as Ren Fairs, IDK. I haven't gone since pre-COVID. I want to go this year. Because I miss it, but...
We have a third pink Velociraptor, everybody.
Woo!
And I think I have 1 or 2 more. Yeah, I have like 1 more pink, so we'll have 4 pink dinosaurs.
You made so many dinosaurs because this chapter is so long.
Yep.
Then he pointed, you have to be careful of those makeup bombs, though. They're actually called Mickey balls. Look. Are they, though? Do they have to be? Yes, Chase screamed. She took a huge... Wait. Nope, I missed a page. They stuck together. Hang on, I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Sure enough, red and blue balls appeared out of thin air. The red ones whizzed around Chase's face. She did 2 fast backward cartwheels. How do you do backward cartwheels? What consists of a backward cartwheel? I guess like when you just like
I guess
hands
then
to
one leg.
like you bend around it. Yeah, I get okay.
maybe.
I'm not athletic enough to even entertain the idea of a backwards cartwheel. to catch two. She rubbed a red one, and a shimmering pink powder appeared on her fingertips. Chase spread it over her cheeks. She threw a blue one at Alexander. Ollie and flesh-covered ooze. Oil and flesh-colored ooze and black soot exploded onto his chest. Way to give a guy blue balls, honey, Gennaro crowed. I'm almost out of my water. Gonna have to go refill the waters.
Oh gosh.
Mm.
Look, I have plenty of water. I've only been taking sips.
The next time I go to con, I'm thinking, just because I want a break from thinking about this. The next time I go to con, now that I'm like deep in the Sailor Moon fandom, I wanna cosplay like either Sailor Mars or Sailor Saturn. I think that would be fun.
Do you eat?
Or no, Sailor Saturn. I was like, wait. Yeah, that's the right one. Those red Makey balls have makeup inside them for Bella's, bluish eye stuff, and lipstick. The blue ones for us and filled with stuff called mandation. Our Makey balls also have body oil and charcoal for smoky eyes. Bravo explained, just rub on your fingers on the various parts and dab it on. Applying makeup is mandatory. You get points taken off if you don't. The more skillful the job, the better. Chase smeared black eyeshadow over just one eye and a jagged line of bright red lipstick to one side of her mouth. The red ball beeped faster and faster the longer Chase held it. Just the one side. Okay. Once you touch them, they're activated, and after a short while, kaboom, they explode, Bravo explained, so throw them away as fast as you can. Your opponent gets 10 points if one explodes on you. Bravo gently turned her around to face him, slowly put his hand to his mouth, licked his thumb, and gently rubbed Tookie's eyebrow with it. Again? Tookie's body tickled all the way from her hips to her ankles. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Tyra, why?
Texas, I can feel my brain cells dying too. Then he wrapped his strong arms around her and pulled her in tight. The side of her face was pressed against his bare chest, and she could feel his heart pumping in sync with hers. Tookie's eyes fluttered closed. She loved having him caress her. She knew she would never have a stunning young man like this cradle her with such tenderness ever again. She wanted to hold on to him, until the very last drop was left. 3 drops left, 2. But she couldn't do this. She couldn't lead Bravo on. Tookie looked around the arena. She didn't see Piper's pale hair anywhere. Hadn't she found the switch yet? What was taking her so long? She pulled away and stared into Bravo's eyes. Bravo, about what happens after man attack. Bravo's mouth was closed to Tookie's ear. The next part is the most important part. He's not even listening to you. See that gyro up there along the strut? After we're dressed and made up, it starts jerking all around us and starts a countdown from Z to A. When it reaches A, it snaps a photo of us. If Chase manages to be the focal point of the photo, she gets more points. If Alexander overshadows her, he gets more. The important thing is to remember that Modelland is competing against testosterone, but we're also competing against our own team members to be number 1. Kind of like gymnastics in the World Games. 2 camera flashes turned the orb arena bright white. 3-dimensional images of Chase and Alexander flashed above the plank in the middle of the orb arena. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong because it does, but it doesn't matter. A sports siren sounded, indicating the end of the round and also at the beginning of Tookie's momentary deafness. Bold-faced Chase, black eye and bloody lip maculage to boot. I guess the girl knows her way around cosmetics, Gennaro trilled over the loudspeaker. A charge of electricity sparkled through the scoreboard. Nice drag. I almost said drag. It's not a dragon. It's a scientific dragon,
Ah.
otherwise known as a dinosaur.
Yay.
A charge of electricity sparkled through the scoreboard while promptly displaying the score. Modelland chased 85 points. Testosterone Alexander 30 points. Yes, Chase screamed. She took a huge bounding leap off the plank and made a soft landing in a group of Testosteros sitting in a line of seats along the struts. They'll always be Bestostabros to me. Gennaro then called Zarpace's name. Okay, Miss Zarpesta, let's see what you're made of. Ugh, your theme? Lady Spider and her insect of prey. Can our sexy arachnid catch her fly, or will you get caught in his web of leather and lace? Bravo turned back to Tookie. I know it's a lot to absorb, but it's actually a fun game, Bravo said. Do I need to take you through it again? Please, no. It's been so many pages. Tookie stared at him. Suddenly, she felt full of rage. No, I don't want you to take me through it again. I've been trying to tell you something for the last 15 minutes. You haven't heard me at all. Bravo blinked at her. What is it? He was staring at her so patiently without a clue of what was coming next. It felt like there was a huge rock on Tookie's chest preventing her from taking a full breath. I'm escaping from Modelland today. His eyes bulged. What?
Oh.
I've been trying to tell you, my friends and I, we have to. We're going through the hidden zip zap soon. Maybe in just minutes. This is goodbye. Bravo's eyes darted back and forth, trying to make sense of Tookie's news. You're leaving through our zip zap? The one you asked me to show you? The one I wanted to take you through tonight? That's right. Without me? Yes, she turned away, not wanting to look at him. Why? Bravo asked. In the arena, Gennaro crowed at the wardrobe battle. Nice use of fishnets, Webb. Way to trap that itsy bitsy spider. They're a little young for fishnets. We're getting there. We're almost to the sub-100 marker.
Yay.
Yay, thank God. Tookie lowered her eyes. She couldn't tell him the truth. Because I have to, okay? I can't stay here. It's something I can't explain. Slowly, Bravo's eyes grew cold. You weren't going to tell me about this, were you? If we weren't paired up today, if I hadn't come to see you just now, you were just going to go through our zip-zap. You used me. Tookie's heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vice. The crushed tone of Bravo's voice made her want to wilt to the floor, but she tried to stay strong. I didn't use you. Yeah, you did. After I poured my heart out to you. After I told you a story I never told anybody before. I'm sorry, Tookie said, trying to shove all her tumultuous feelings aside. Then Bravo crossed his arms over his chest. Well, Tookie, I'll tell you a little secret too. You and me kissing? It was nothing but a bet with my boys. Oh, no. No, it wasn't. But that's okay. You can say that. I like this story. Let's keep it. Leave him, girl. I mean, I want to say that he could do better, but they honestly deserve each other. They both somehow, I feel like, could do better, but also deserve exactly what they've got.
Yep.
Her head whipped up. What? That's right. There was no joy in Bravo's smile. I made a bet with Webb and Alex that I could get a funny-looking girl to fall in love with me. The pretty ones, they're easy, but the weird-looking ones, they're the ultimate challenge. Tookie took a huge step back. It felt like he'd reached into her body and pulled out both her lungs. You can't be serious, she wanted to say, but maybe he could. Look at her. Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. She was a circus freak, nothing like the gorgeous creatures who populated this school. All her fears, all her instincts had proven to be true. She was nothing but a joke. So I guess we're not so different, you and I, Bravo said in a stoic, iron-cold voice. The voice of someone who didn't care, who had never cared. We're both heartless, a perfectly imperfect match. Get out, Tookie screamed. Peace. He spun around and stormed away. He threw the peace sign? He threw deuces. He was like, out. Tookie was so stunned and shaken she could barely move. I almost let him in. I should have known better. Look at him. Why in the hell would you think he would ever want a fugly freakazoid forget-a-girl like you?
But what about the eye?
Thunderous cheers rumbled from the orb arena. The gyro reared back to life and jerked around the duo, gearing up to take its photo of Webb and Zarpesa, who was dressed excuse me.
Good insight.
Thank you. In a black cat suit with dangling strips that looked like spider legs, complete with a webby mesh mask on her face. The crowd began to recite the alphabet backwards. Z, Y, X. Oh, this throws my brain for a loop. I don't like it. Zarpesa eyed the jerking gyro as she flitted around Webb. She jumped to avoid a blue Mackie ball that scurried along the plank. Hey, I don't care. Meanwhile, Tookie held onto the wall, realizing she was on the brink of breaking down to a place so deep and dangerous she wasn't even sure she could return. A fugly forget-a-girl. That's all I'll be. M-L-K. But then, suddenly, the inner light flicked on inside Tookie. She let go of the wall and mustered her strength to stand tall. Hold it together, she told herself. She was the leader of the Uticas. They needed her to be strong to get them out of Modelland. G, F, E. I'm tired of feeling powerless, Tookie thought. Powerless against her mother's favoritism of Miracle. Powerless against her father's decision to throw her away. Powerless against Zarpesa and her wrath. But now she could have the power. She could change the future. She wouldn't let Bravo's verbal blows make her crumble. I think the cerebral fluid is leaking out of my nose.
Oh no. Well, Texas said you're allergic to the book.
I'm allergic to this. I'm allergic to bullshit is what it is.
Oh gosh, you're like Will Smith and iRobot.
Yeah.
We have an orange one.
Tookie peered back out into the arena. With the speed of a black widow going for the kill, Zarpesa leapt into the air, tightened her centaura around her waist, and fell at Webb's feet. B. Zarpesa gazed up at the moving gyro. Her body went artistically angular. She wrapped her many fishnets around Webb as if her web was strangling him to death. Snap. The image was displayed above Zarpesa and Webb. Webb, isn't she lovely, Gennaro cooed? A dear widow caught in the web lights. She may be a brat, but our czar also may be a star. The scoreboard delivered its verdict. Modelland, Zarpesa 92 points. Testosterone, Webb 25 points. Well, they're really kicking their ass, aren't they? Not that this matters, but you know. Ooh, 92, Gennaro announced. Sorry, Chase, but our little Tantura Pessa got you beat. Up next, Crazy Eyes. Tookie from Modelland. My dad has heterochromia, and he thinks it's absolutely hilarious that there would be any plot line about, like, people bullying you over it.
Tyra, you're insulting something that Avery's dad had, and Avery's dad is awesome, so how dare you make fun of something that Avery's dad has?
He's not insulted, he just thinks it's funny because it's dumb. He's like, even when I was in school and kids were being mean to me, they still thought that heterochromia was cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a thing.
Well, I just wanted to be mad for some reason.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I won't stop you. I won't. Heterophobia. I won't keep you from your rage.
Heterophobia.
Tookie eyed Bravo at the other side of the orb arena. All of a sudden, her trembling hands were still. Her heart thudded, full of blood and adrenaline. You're powerful, she told herself, and you're going to let Bravo and all those other testosterone brats see that. You're going to kick his ass. I've been reading for so long.
How much long do you have left?
7 more pages.
Oh my gosh.
What was it, 37 pages? So I've read 30 pages.
Oh my gosh.
Beauteous Bravo from Testosterone, Gennaro finished. Tookie lurched out onto the plank like a tiger sprung from its cage. Bravo stepped out on his side. His hunched posture made him look self-conscious in his couture man attack underwear. I wonder why. Not like he's on stage in underwear. Tookie and Bravo, Gennaro crowed. The Beast and the Beauty, right? Theme, Queen versus Court. Court wants to overthrow Queen and steal her crown and jewels. Bravo, you can steal the family jewels any day. This is a child. This is an underage person.
What in the world?
The chapter never ends. Be mad about that, though. We can be mad about many things simultaneously.
Yes.
Ugh.
Heterophobia.
This is literally bringing me back to the days of reading Harry Potter and just being like, I loved Harry Potter, but damn, those chapters were long. Even before we knew J.K. Rowling as a horrible person, we should have been more mad about that.
Why are you making me read so much?
I don't mind reading long books, but it's just like, at least cut up my thing is like, it's not about how long the book is, it's about the chapters, because the point of the chapters is to cut it up into manageable sections. So when you've got like a 45-page chapter, it kind of defeats the purpose, because I feel like the chapters should be something that you could read in one sitting, or multiple chapters in one sitting. Anyway, where was I? Tookie and Bravo, already saw that. Inappropriate joke against a minor. The piercing buzzer sounded. Tookie and Bravo ran down the plank toward each other at top speed. Bravo stretched out his hand, 10 feet away, 6 feet, 3 feet, and then contact. Tookie's arm hooked Bravo across the neck, throwing him off the plank head first. The crowd gasped. Bravo's head was an inch from the ground, and then he was yanked back up by the anti-gravity pull of the orb arena. Crazy eyes may not just look crazy, Gennaro trilled. Getting the hydration in today, fellas. The crowd let out a mix of cheers and boos, but Bravo was obviously the favorite. As the anti-gravity pushed Bravo back to the plank, he shot Tookie a look of surrender, but Tookie glared at him, years of pain and rage bubbling up inside of her. No way was she backing down, not after she found out she was nothing but a bet. None of us believe this, right? This was just him being like, I didn't like you either.
Yeah, he was just trying to... he was just like, you hurt me, I'll hurt you too.
But Tookie's not smart enough to understand that. She's just like, everything he says has to be true. I know that I'm like leaning off screen. I'm sorry. But also, this is the most comfortable way for me to handle this book right now. The crowd let out a mix of cheers and boos, but Bravo was obviously the favorite. As the anti-gravity pushed Bravo back to the plank. Oh, I already read this. But a bet. Phase 2, wardrobe, Gennaro crowed. A crown whipped towards Tookie, hitting her square in the face. The force knocked her backwards. Then a queen's dress with a Jeremy Jerk label pelted her leg. It's funny because I don't know or care about that. Next came a ruby-encrusted bracelet that was as long as her entire arm. She struggled to put the bracelet on. Stop, Tookie moaned, kicking and thrashing at the clothing and crown. A blazer embellished with an armor breastplate punched Tookie in the stomach. She floated awkwardly from the plank. Bravo grabbed her waist and pulled her back onto the plank. Gennaro snickered. Bella girls, that fire you smell? It's your representative from Modelland, and she's being barbecued, going down in flames. Me? I'll have a hot dog, plain, without the bun, please. Tookie... Was that it? I feel like that was an innuendo, but my brain couldn't even process it. Oh. And now I'm having flashbacks to Insatiable, and I don't want to.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Tookie, we'll tell you Insatiable stories after this never-ending chapter ends. Tookie squirmed away from Bravo's aid. When she turned around again, Bravo wore a blazer of armor with no shirt and a royal soldier's helmet made of wool. He looked so handsome, her insides did a flip, but reality kicked in. Quickly. The bet, she puckered her lips. What are you doing? Bravo whispered. Giving you your first smacker from me, she teased. Oh, come on, Bravo, baby. Close your eyes. He did. Tookie's bright, ruby braceleted arm behind her clenched her fist and hit Bravo in the face. Ooh, baby, does it feel good? Ugh, she yelled in a crazed look in her eyes. A penalty horn sounded. -5 points before maculage. Gennaro tisk, that's one bitter queen. Kick her in the head, Bravo, Webb yelled from the audience. That should be easy target to hit. I just saw Tex say something in chat about an armchair historian, and it just made me think historians will be debating about what the hell this book was for centuries to come.
No, it's genius because she's poking fun at everything, and it's like, no, it was
Imagine
serious.
1,000 years from now, humans, advanced future humans, find a copy of this book, and they're like, "What does it mean?"
And then they watch America's Next Top Model, and they're like, oh.
That's what I wonder every time we find like new uncoverings from like Egypt or, you know, whatever, and it's just like, this could have been this, and it's like, I wonder if it was though. I wonder if they were alive now, if they'd be like, oh, that? Nah, that's just like fanfic. That's not even our literature. Like, Bravo stood and gaped at Tookie. Blood dripped from his nose. I'm not a punching bag, Tookie, and I am not a joke, Tookie screamed. But blue and red explosive makey balls appeared in frustration. Bravo kicked them to the ends of the plank away from him and Tookie, but they bounced right back up. Kicking the Mackie balls. Ouch! 10 points off, Bravo, Gennaro admonished. Tookie, you have to get dressed, Bravo urged. Put something on. He gestured to the floating clothes around her head. Why the heck are you helping me? Tookie snapped. I don't need your pity. I'm nothing but a bet to you. She grabbed one of the Mackie balls and rubbed it. Lip gloss spilled out and she smeared it on her lips. But first kiss, Bravo, my real first kiss. Know what it's going to be? He paused, waiting. It's going to be under a perfect sunset near a garden of gold flowers spreading as far as the eye could see, Tookie said, making up as she went along, and the crowd just like, what the hell is happening?
Oh gosh, it's like those scenes in movies where people are having like an intense conversation or something, and people are just sitting there like,
The lucky guy who will get to pucker with my suckers will be wearing a tuxedo, and he's going to sing to me a song he wrote, and he'll dance to it. What the hell? It's gonna make me laugh and make me cry. Bravo blinked. Are you for real? Hell yeah, I'm for real. Then he'll open up his shirt like a superhero, she went on. On his chest will be written, Tookie, you are the most amazing girl I have ever laid eyes on. Going, and I can't decide which I love more, your green or your brown eye. All that's getting written on his chest, huh? All of it?
It's going back from them talking about like the dirty humor to like this childlike fantasy.
Oh my god. Even at like 13 years old, my like first kiss like fantasies were more intelligible than this.
Oh god, that just reminds me of in Recess when two of the characters kiss. It showed like the camera spun around and it showed like a flower field or something, and then they're like, bleh, 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 it's so weird.
She's still going. Then he'll have to touch my face gently with both hands. Her eyes spilled newer, fresher tears, and he'll kiss my forehead, both of my cheeks, and then my nose, and then he'll spray whipped cream straight into my mouth. And then his can't.
Oh gosh, whipped cream is starting to make my stomach turn.
I'm never gonna be able to eat whipped cream again as long as.
Just gonna be like that scene in Office Days or whatever when they beat up the computer, but it's as like beating up the can of Coop.
My grandchildren will be like, Mom, why does Grandma get like a distant look in her eye whenever we bring out the whipped cream? It's like she gained trauma, honey, during the Modelland era.
Oh gosh, she survived.
I did survive.
But at what cost?
But at what cost? I can't.
How much longer is
5 more pages.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm going as fast as I can.
Oh no, it's just like, why do you have to suffer in this way?
It feels like a nightmare. Have you ever had like a dream where you're like running to a destination and you never get there because the road just keeps stretching out further in front of you? It feels like that.
Or I have dreams where I'm like in a school and I need to get to a class, but I just can't find the classroom.
I have that dream, but with like getting to set on time.
Oh yeah, there have been times where I'm waking up and I'm like, oh no, I'm late. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, that's my alarm, my first one.
And for me, it will feel like the kiss will never end because it won't. It'll go on forever and it will be amazing. Forever? Tookie's chest was heaving between sobs. She was having difficulty catching her breath. Bravo just stared. Suddenly, the photo gyro came to life, bucking and weaving around them. The countdown began. Z, Y, X. Bravo moved closer to Tookie. I want you to win. Mess me up really bad, okay? I don't care how hard you go at me. Throw a Mackie ball at me. Don't take any more pity on me. Tookie roared. But I haven't, Tookie said. I've never pitied you. You're a big, fat, devious liar. Furious, Tookie plopped the queenly couture crown on her head, but held on to it. I should throw it at him, she thought. She held it in her hand, debating what to do. S, R, P. Bravo sank. They couldn't just count down like normal, because of course they couldn't. Bravo sank to his knees. You realize, Tookie, that even if you throw the crown at me, you'll still lose. But there is one way you can win. What? Mackie balls, 2 of them. Activate them, he urged. Then take them both and hold on to them. Tookie stared curious at him. You'll lose 50 points, and you'll get them. She placed her hands on her hips. Why are you doing this, Bravo? Feeling guilty? H. A little bit, Bravo said. You deserve better than me, Tookie. G. Tookie stared at him, a whole new kind of rage boiling inside. Tookie deserves nothing at this point.
Yeah.
I deserve better? Damn right I deserve better, and this is better than you, Bravo. Believe it or not, Theophilus Lovelaces. Oh, God. He's back.
Theophilus.
The crowd fell silent, but suddenly, from the wings, Zarpesa let out a shriek. Theophilus, my Theophilus? Bravo blinked hard at Tookie. Who's Theophilus? Do you have some other dude at home? He's not all tall and pouting. Bestostero pretty boy like you. Girls everywhere don't scream that they want his babies, but he's better than you, Bravo. Smarter than you. Is that why you're leaving? Bravo whispered. Because you want to be with him? Tookie turned away. If Bravo wanted to think that, then let him. Bravo shook his head in disbelief. I can't believe you, girl. Hit her with the girl, huh? And just so you know, there was never a bet. I just said that in case, because I was pissed off because you used me and I wanted to hurt you back, but now I think there should have been. Tookie blinked at him. Could he be telling the truth? F. Bravo's salted caramel eyes. We're up to salted caramel eyes now. Looked so sincere. His lips were still moving, but Tookie couldn't hear a word over the roar of the crowd. She tried to emblazon him in her memory, a person who could seem so genuine but totally fool you, just like CL had. Tookie, Bravo said, just pick up the damn Mackie balls and get this over with. Without a word, she picked up a red Mackie ball, her touch activating it. Tingly jolts of electricity tingled her palms. Instead of blush or lipstick, though, streaks of yellow liquid appeared on her fingers. That's weird. Is it the body oil Bravo was talking about? But that was supposed to be the blue Mackie balls. The liquid began to solidify and then buzzed her hands. Was it about to explode? She stared at the peculiar half-liquid, half-solid substance. The buzzing turned into convulsions, and then gradually the substance formed into a cellophane-thin sheet. The object was now rising and falling as if it was alive. It's monster blood. Tookie's mouth dropped open. Is this a smize? Gennaro called. Hot damn. We haven't had one of those little babies appear in our Mackie balls for quite some time. It's a lucky charm, crazy eyes. Cover those loomy peepers of yours and put your spectators' eyes out of their misery. Slowly, Tookie put the smize on her face. The moment it touched her skin, she felt a jolt on her heart. Her head cleared and filled with an incredible pulsing energy. So this was what a smize feels like, even though she thought, feeling stronger and more powerful than ever. Didn't she already have a smize?
Miracle took it.
Miracle took it. Okay. I forget. I genuinely couldn't remember. She thought, feeling stronger and more powerful than ever. Before, she felt beyond special, as if a switch had been turned on, illuminating her from the inside and dimming everyone else's. Sorry, I just ignored the punctuation, because what even matters anymore? Her senses were on fire. Each breath Bravo took reached her ears. Her taste buds were flooded with every delectable whipped cream she'd ever tasted. Neon... How many possible tastes of, flavors of whipped cream are there? I've had, chocolate and, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup at some point, but, that's it. Does Tyra Banks have just like a wall for whipped cream in her house?
Probably.
A walk-in closet just for whipped cream?
She or except she doesn't have the chocolate and she's like, ew, chocolate, but whipped cream.
Her senses were on fire. Each breath Bravo took reached her ears. Her taste buds were flooded with every delectable whipped cream she'd ever tasted. Neon colors dazzled her eyes, and the air smelled like lime and crushed mint, island coconut, and rosemary and buttercream frosting. Rosemary and buttercream frosting. Okay. It's like, ugh. Tookie felt, no, she was intoxicating. Waves of words flowed into her brain. Magnifique, Omorphos, Vacker, Sean, Meli, Mui, Guape, Sundar, Muganda. These aren't words. Ka-chow! Lightning McQueen has entered the chat.
Good chow.
Belle, I need to put that on the soundboard with the Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
Belle, hundreds of words coming from the smize that all meant the same majestic, wonderful, marvelous, magnificent, mind-blowing thing. Beautiful. As she oh, thank God, there's end in sight.
Oh, yay.
As she turned to Bravo, her jaw dropped. Oh my God, he said, staring at her, transfixed. When Tookie looked into the crowd, everyone else was gawking at her too. Even Webb, Alexander, and O'Neill. Even Zarpesa, who, like the other Bellows, paled in comparison to Tookie's ravishing glow. Even Gennaro looked spellbound as he whispered, "Whoa, Super Modelland eyes," into the microphone. Then Bravo took the second red Mackie ball from Tookie's hands and placed it on his chest. The Mackie ball rose and fell with his fast breath. E. Tookie watched him. The ball's beat quickened. D. She stood over Bravo in the few remaining seconds. She placed her hand near her mouth, stuck out her tongue, and licked her thumb ever so slowly. Then she leaned down, glared in Bravo's eyes, and wiped each of his eyebrows with it. It felt good, vengeful. But that doesn't even make sense, Tyra. I don't get it, Tyra. With 3 big leaps, she was back near her end of the plank. Kaboom! The Mackie ball exploded, spraying its contents all over Bravo, covering him in bright, garish color. C. B. In what seemed like the millisecond that Tookie had remaining, she ran back to Bravo and stood over him, remembering her Kara lessons. She made her face express the exact opposite of what she was feeling. She smiled. Bravo turned his face away from the camera. Snap. The gyro's image floated above the Oberina. For Modelland, Tookie, 106 points. For Bestosterone, Bravo, 19 points. So she failed miserably, but it was like the Modelland version of getting the golden snitch. It was like, this makes up for all of it.
Yeah.
Is that thing broken? Gennaro cried. Beauty is pain. Beauty pains me to say this, but you all have just witnessed the greatest turnaround in Man Attack history. Tookie from Modelland has scored 106 points, runawaying past her competitors. Oh my God, I can't with the sentence structures. Tookie is, ugh, it hurts, our new champion. I won? Tookie asked incredulously. Are you serious? I won? Imagine another school where teachers just had this much outward disdain for the students.
Yeah.
Like specific students.
Well, I can think of a few teachers, but I think they hated all the kids equally, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've known no teachers that hate all the students equally, and then it's just like, well, why are you doing this as your job? But like, to be like, this one particular student sucks is like, oh my God. Are you serious? I won. Suddenly a high-pitched scream rang from the crowd. She fainted. Oh my God, that big girl fainted. Oh, Dylan. And then the Oberina went dark, pitch black. It was time. Oh God. All right. Finally.
Okay. Yay.
On your last paper.
Well, it's like, or yeah, I have 2 more ish, like one that's halfway through.
We'll have to I can smell dinner cooking. We'll have to maybe do a second stream after dinner since we're close to the end.
Yep, we're almost at the 100-page mark. Like 100 pages left.
Golden Snitch is worth It's worth 100 points. Yeah. Yeah, it's like instead of 150 points, the Smize is worth 100 points. Can we have like
She
a
got a
10-minute
6.
break from that, please?
Oh, you have to tell the Insatiable story.
Oh, where do I even start with Insatiable? So I never had to be one of... I don't know if anybody watched Insatiable. It was that show on Netflix that nobody really liked because it wasn't that good.
They got a second season, though.
They got a second season. Oh my god, chat, I'm sorry. I can't even catch up to everything that just happened in chat while I was gone. I think the summary is Tyra Y with the eyebrows, right?
Yeah.
Thank god it's over. Oh god, just that chapter though. Can we have like a 10-minute break? I mean, here, let me tell an insatiable story. So, god, I really hope Texas 10-year-old is out of the room. I'm so sorry. So, Insatiable, I never had to be one of the girls that worked at Weenie Taco, because remember that was the place where they went. It was a hot dog taco fusion place. Not like they sold hot dogs and tacos. It was a taco shell with hot dogs in it. They thought that was so quirky and random. Their slogan was, "There's a wiener in my taco." And the girls, it was always girls who worked at the Wiener Taco, wore t-shirts that said the slogan. I never had to do that, but I was one of the extras in the Wiener Taco, and literally everything was a euphemism. It was like Modelland levels of euphemisms. Insatiable exists because of Julia Cudney. And then, oh my god, and then I remember this one day, we were there, and it was one of the days where Atlanta actually got a bunch of snow and ice a little bit, but it was like everything was icy. It was we were barely able to drive in, and they were like, nope, everybody still has to come into work. And so then we're risking our lives on the icy road that isn't salted because it's Georgia. And we get there just to be in a non-heated giant soundstage. So we're freezing. And then were you there when we all eventually got moved into like this one day we got moved like into the like the side like inside the offices. They like finally took a small group of us, and like to keep us separate, they put us like in like one of the offices like back at the production, like because it was there on the stages at Screen Gems. And I accidentally called 911, like butt dial 911, and managed to hang up before it connected. But I was just like, though that is how I'm feeling, I'm not about to get in trouble for calling. I know people call 911 by accident all the time, and it's not really that big of a deal, but like, unless you do it on purpose. But like, I was just like, that tops off my day, right? I was just, oof.
Yeah, I don't think I was there for that, but I've been to where they filmed Insatiable, and they stuck us in between like two of the stages, and it was cold, and they had one heater, but I kept tripping the breakers, so.
Great.
And Natasha was being used, and I wasn't being used, so I got to see the first few episodes of season 1 of Umbrella Academy on her phone. I still haven't watched anymore because I'm like, no, I have to watch it with Natasha now or her phone.
Natasha watched the first season with me, and then I haven't seen the other seasons. And she's like, it goes downhill. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, so what if the DeLorean time... Oh, let's talk about the DeLorean instead. Playing chicken with another car and hit 88 miles an hour and time travels before the other car can hit them. I mean, that would work. They would just be like, what the hell happened?
Well, or no, wait, that didn't happen. Or I was thinking about the time when when Marty was racing and decided to not go, and he would have hit another car, so never mind. But yes, I agree with Avery. Oh, I think the last chapter is now the last chapter will be the longest. So, or it doesn't seem like the chapters are too long from here on out.
I think that's why I think like, because obviously we're gonna have to break for dinner at some point because humans eat. Shockingly, we don't just eat whipped cream like.
Oh God.
Tyra Banks apparently she's really into that whipped cream thing.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if Tyra Banks has ever eaten whipped cream before. It might just be like a quirky thing where she's just like, oh, whipped cream, that's so quirky. I'll give this character this thing. It's not that self-inserting, probably. Maybe.
The one thing that isn't self-inserting.
Oh, Patrick, if you're still in chat, my mom just texted me a picture of she has the stack of cookbooks that Patrick sent, and she has one open, and she's like planning dinners, planning the menu for the week. Thank you, Patrick, which I think is very cute. How's this shit show going? I just finished a 37-page chapter, and I'm just exhausted. I think honestly, if we probably dinner will be in about an hour. If we do that and then get back on for like a little bit, we'll probably just finish it tonight if you're down with that.
We can try.
We can try.
Like,
you missed the most boring chapter ever. There was so much in that chapter, but also nothing of value to me. I just didn't care. Promise it gets better than that. By I mean worse than usual. Oh god. That chapter is like awful to read. It's so long and unnecessary. Like you're telling me the editors didn't tell her to cut down any of that, or was that the cut down version?
That was probably the cut down version.
Well, right, because the manuscript was like 1,000 pages. I forgot. Okay, I'm sorry. You can start whenever you're ready.
It's all good, but I just want to give you as much time as possible to like decompress after all that. Chapter 38, left, right, left. It sounded like the whole orb arena was screaming. For some reason, Piper accidentally turned off the force fields, and flute monsters had come in and were starting to attack all the people. The symbol monster crashed through the building, and it was terrifying. Just kidding, that was a lie.
I was like, wait, the symbol monster's back?
No. Hunchy came in and was like, you know what? I don't want to eat Piper. I don't want to eat any part of Piper. Probably. These people are pretentious. I will eat, I don't know. Hunchy decides to go vegan after seeing the pandemonium. I don't know.
Is the scene with Abigail good and her mother not the one where because she's eaten now? I think Darth missed that chapter, right? Because he said, I want to get to the chapter with Abigail good and her mother, unless I missed it. That was... She died, right? Like, that's the last Abigail chapter.
Well, I don't know, or I feel like Abigail disappeared because it was two of the other people who got by the spider leech monster.
Okay.
And I guess Abigail just disappeared.
The heartburn that I'm having is likely better than going through this book. Bless all of you. I mean, like we were saying, a very small amount of people even bothered to know about this book, and an even smaller amount of people actually finished it when covering it. So we're in we consider ourselves to be an elite club. Yeah, she's fucking dead. Okay, so yeah, you missed it, Darth. Sorry, you can go back on the VOD and watch.
Oh, okay, because I'm looking and I'm just like, wait, what? Oh yeah, Kamada took her hand and accidentally ran into the...
Right.
And I was just like, oh my gosh. Okay. It sounded like the whole orb arena was screaming. There were clangs, then shouts, then a blaring fire alarm. Tookie blinked in the darkness. She couldn't see a thing. A voice yelled in her ear, "It's me, Shiraz. Come, I can see perfectly." Shiraz grabbed Tookie and led her off the plank, back through the prep zone and down to the ground. As she hit the earth, she felt the smize flutter away from her face. She tried to grab for it, but the rice paper thin talisman had disappeared into the darkness. "Where are the others?" she whispered. "Here," two voices said in unison. It was Dylan and Piper. Inside, panicking man-attack spectators pushed and screamed. Shiraz muscled through an unnoticed door and the hold on.
Take another sip of water.
Tookie looked back at the orb arena. The rumbling of trapped spectators practically shook the steel struts. "We created this chaos," she cries. "We can't just leave them in there." "We gotta get out of here now," Dylan said. "We made an opportunity. Now we gotta take it." "Not only did I find out where the switch was," Piper said panted out of breath, "I found the emergency zip-zap too. It's exactly where you said it was. Come on." They ran to the stadium, now completed. It was massive. Its elaborate architecture cast eye-pattern reflections on the ground. The girls scampered up a path cordoned off by a metal banner across which scrolled blinking words that read "No entry until the 7-7 tournament." Making sure no one saw them, Tookie and her friend scooted around the blockade. Before she went into the stadium, Tookie turned back, exhaled, took one final look at Modelland. "Goodbye, Kamalini. Goodbye, Guru LaRoe. Goodbye, Dr. Erica. Goodbye, Bravo. It's time, Tookie, Piper urged. Tookie ducked under the banner. Instantly, Piper rushed down 4 flights of stairs into the depths of the stadium, the girls right behind her. A giant pile of stones lay in front of them. Following Piper's lead, they began lifting the rocks until a horizontal zip-zap, flush with the ground, appeared under the rubble. It had jagged, pointed, rusty teeth and a zipper pole that flamed crimson, as if warning not to touch. Taking a deep breath, Tookie yanked it open. Ouch! It was hot to the touch. A whirlpool of thick, hot air and reddish liquid whipped inside. Is it red body juice? Shiraz wondered out loud, holding tightly to Dylan's hand. Muted screams streamed out from the deep. Let's go, Tookie said, and then, after a slight hesitation, she fell straight backward and disappeared into the hole. The girl's body twisted around the curves of the zip-zap. It was pitch black inside the tunnel. Terrifying growling and wailing sounds echoed off the walls. The tunnel's surface was hot, burning through the girl's clothing and singeing Tookie's bare legs. Everyone yelped in pain. Suddenly, the path leveled off. Tookie saw a fork straight ahead. Left or right? Left or right? Tookie screamed. I think we should go left. No right, Shiraz answered. Left, Piper said. No right. No rat, Dylan said. Tookie leaned to the right. The girls did the same. They whipped through the new tube. Gradually, a pinprick of light appeared at the end of the tunnel. Where would they end up? In Ladorno or in the diabolical divide? Tookie's heart thumped. The light grew closer and closer. Dylan screamed. As they reached the end, they picked up speed, their bodies whipping against the tube, and then suddenly, thump! The girls fell into a pool of thick red mud. The air smelled charred and rotten. There were no telltale signs of Ladorno anywhere. No buildings, no streets, no cars. Tookie looked into the air and saw 4 fireballs shooting straight towards them. We're in the divide! She screamed, get back in the zip-zap!
Sorry, zip-zap, it just hits me every time.
They all tried to stand, but the mud sucked them downward. Tookie rose and then fell face first into the mud. It stung her eyes. I got you, Tookie yelled. From somewhere deep within, she found the strength to rise. She then reached down and, one at a time, pulled Piper, Dylan, and Shiraz free. Hurry up, Tookie screamed over the sound of crackling flames. Back into the zip-zap! Just before the 4 fireballs were about to consume them, the girls jumped back into the zip-zap. Tookie took the left fork, and the girls continued to slide until splash! Tookie's nose burned with the scent and taste of chlorine. Blue-gray buildings rose around her. The moon hung high in the sky overhead. A few lonely cars whipped around a traffic circle. Beyond it was the mist-covered mountains of Modelland. She looked down and saw water lapping at her neck. She looked to the side and saw the statue of Mayor Devin Rump standing beside her. They were in a fountain in Ladorno. We made it! We made it! Dylan yelped. She splashed over to Tookie and gave her a huge hug. And you were right. We should have gone left. Piper waded over and hugged Tookie, then Shiraz did too. Now what? Dylan said, tucking a clump of wet blonde hair behind her ear. Once they broke free, they looked around at one another, suddenly realizing something.
Wait, who has blonde hair? Oh, Piper. Piper's blonde hair.
Or Dylan. Dylan tugging a clump of wet blonde hair behind her ear.
Okay. Okay, so she looks exactly as we've been picturing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or does she?
Or does she?
I guess we go our separate ways, Piper pointed out what they were all thinking. I'll find my way back to Sans Calor and to Mother, the Queen. She made a face. Back to Candelabra, Shiraz said morosely. We'll deliver good news to the people, but not to me. I'll hop a train or something to Boo Big Teak, I guess, Dylan murmured. Back to the customer service desk, back to life confined in a store. Her jaw trembled slightly. She gazed up at the mountain. What do I do now? Tookie said aloud, not expecting an answer. Suddenly, Dylan's face fell. She stared at something in the sky. Tookie, her voice shook. Run! To Tookie's horror, she saw CL's familiar pouch in flying mode. It swooped ominously above them, dropping lower and lower with each rotation. She was coming after them. The girls screamed and clambered out of the fountain, running down the alley, ducking under fire escapes and around garbage containers and climbing over fences, CL's pouch in pursuit. They skidded to a stop at an open manhole cover. They scooted down the ladder and ran through a labyrinth of dark, steaming tunnels. Where do we go now? Shiraz yelled. We're heading north by northwest, Piper advised. Head up the next ladder we find. 50 steps later, they found a ladder leading up through an open manhole. Tookie scrambled up and out once more, emerging in the deserted town square. She looked around at the marble ground and the giant clock in the center. This is where Metopia's T-Dot is held, she realized. It looked so empty and desolate, devoid of people, walkers, souvenir sellers. The clock tower loomed in the corner, and various fountains spewed water on all sides. Immense billboards of Intoxibellas, Evangelinda, and Bev Joe decorated sides of buildings. As Tookie spun around, she noticed a telltale question mark-sized crack in the pavement and felt a clenching in her stomach. This is the exact spot where Ciel had selected her for Modelland. Right on the edge of the square, Ciel had appeared out of the top of the car, extending her hand to Tookie, over Miracle, over everyone. She gazed up at the mist-covered mountain once more, a pang of regret and nostalgia mixing inside of her. So much had happened. She felt like an entirely different person, and yet she was the exact same place she'd started. A strange scratching sound appeared from behind a nearby trash can. Shiraz grabbed Tookie's arm. "What's that?" "I don't know," Tookie whispered. "Shh." A scratching noise intensified. Something breathed raspily in and out, in and out. A dog? A cat? "What if it's Ciel?" Piper whispered. Tookie stepped back, her heart thudding hard. But before she could turn around and make yet another escape, something larger than a cat climbed out of the trash can. A burr-riddled, dreadlocked redhead, dressed in a hospital gown, a series of fresh cuts and burns on her arms. Oh my gosh. Lizzie's back. After all this time. Tookie's jaw dropped. "Oh my god," shh, she whispered. "Lizzie." Lizzie's eyes locked with Tookie's, and she let out a joyful yet mournful yelp. The two girls ran for each other, crashing together hard. After a long embrace, Lizzie stuck her hand out to her sides, palms up. Tookie did the same. Both girls pointed to the sky, then made a motion as if checking their underarms for assent, then did a deep curtsy. "What's up, hot queen?" they cried to each other. Lizzie stared at Tookie's arm, which was still adorned with long ruby bracelets from Man Attack. "You really are a queen today, girl," she whooped. "You have no idea, Lizzie." Tookie had felt like a queen with the smize. It had fallen off her after Man Attack. I wonder where it went. Maybe one of the crazed Bellas back in the Orb Arena had found and pocketed it. Maybe the Likies. The Unicas watched them, cocking their heads, trying to make sense of the reunion. Then Tookie grabbed Lizzie's hand. "Is it really you, Lizzie? I was sure you'd be gone by now." "Oh no," Lizzie shook her head. "I've been waiting for you, Tookie. Right here, all day, every day. Well, I hid in the daytime, of course. They see me during the day. They keep looking for me, but every night I'm right here in the trash can. I saw you get chosen. Your face was huge for the world to see on the big screen on T-Dot." Then Lizzie trembled a bit, looked down at her feet, and then said, "I always told you that you were special." "I'm sorry," Tookie said. Her worst fear had come true. Lizzie had seen her take the scout's hand. She remembered how Lizzie had stood in her driveway the morning of T-Dot, how she let out a scream, thinking Tookie had abandoned her. "I wanted to escape with you, Lizzie, but they threw me into the car. I was stuck." Tears fell down her eyes. All this time, she'd feared that Lizzie hated her for leaving. "I understand," Lizzie said. "I mean, at first I was confused and hurt and angry, but it's you, Tookie. I know you wouldn't do that to me. I knew you'd come back." Tookie put both hands on Lizzie's face. "I did come back, Lizzie." Guilt shot through her body. Yes, she was back, but the reason for her trip was not to be with Lizzie, but to dodge danger and unaliving. Still, Tookie continued, because the look in Lizzie's eyes felt like home. And I'm ready for Exodus. Really ready. Let's go right now." Lizzie gazed into Tookie's eyes and nodded, her eyes filled with sad joy. "Really? Really?" Tookie turned and grinned at Shiraz, Dylan, and Piper. "This is Lizzie, guys, my very best friend from Peppertown." When she turned back to Lizzie, Lizzie's expression had changed from bright and lucid to something tortured and crazed. She stared at the sky, her eyes stricken in fear. "They're coming for me," she shrieked. Tookie and the other Unicas gazed at the sky. Ciel's pouch whizzed past her own billboard, which now read, "Where the heck is Ciel? Darn it, we need her." Lizzie started to shiver and convulse, her eyes locked on Ciel. Then, turning, she broke into a run down the city streets. "Lizzie!" Tookie screamed, chasing after her. The Unicas followed. "Lizzie, where are you going? Come back!" She pounded down the Ladorno streets, passing spas, high-end hotels, jewelers, exclusive nightclubs, all kinds of things she used to dream about as a simple girl in Peppertown, but she barely noticed them right now. The storefront streaking past. "Lizzie!" she screamed again, catching a glimpse of Lizzie's bright red hair rounding a corner. She looked over her shoulder to tell Shiraz, Dylan, and Piper to hurry up, but they were gone. Her stomach twisted. No. Tookie walked in circles on the sidewalk, wondering which way to go. Just then, a huffing, puffing bus from Peppertown, the only one that trekked into Ladorno, pulled up beside her. Vigorous knocks pounded on the window. Tookie looked up, and her heart lifted. Shiraz, Dylan, and Piper were inside. Get in now, Piper mouthed through the window. Tookie peered up the steps. The freckled driver grinned down at her. Come on the board. Oh God. Come on the board, he said in broken English, with an accent that sounded like Shiraz's. Your little Lobrian friend, all my candle...
This doesn't sound offensive in any way.
Yeah. Your little Lobrian friend, all my candelabra, so proud of her. She tell me your plight. I help you get away from the crazy flying lady.
The crazy flying lady. That's pretty much what CL deserves at this point.
Yeah. Tookie climbed aboard and gazed at Shiraz, who shrugged and shot the driver her best car expression, which made him break into googly, I'll do anything you want, smile. It seemed they had learned something valuable at Modelland after all. Where's your friend? Piper asked. Tookie looked around desperately. She couldn't even form the words that she lost Lizzie again. It couldn't be happening. Oh my gosh. Dylan gazed through the window. There she is. Who, Lizzie? Tookie said, brightening. No! Dylan screamed. Tookie followed Dylan's gaze. Sail soared through the sky, but then suddenly Sail appeared on either side of the bus as well, keeping pace with the speeding vehicle. She's using her power of multiplicity, Tookie thought. Now there are 3 CLs trying to unalive us. Down the alley, Piper commanded the driver. He turned the corner fast, losing the 2 CLs that flanked the bus. At the opening of the other end of the alley, Tookie could see the obscure obelisk towering in the sky, all lit up by the moon. She was surprised Mayor Rump hadn't taken them down yet. There's CL, Dylan screamed. She's Oliver R. Landon. Tookie whipped around and saw the 3 CLs skid to a stop on the bricks behind them, their pouches retracting into their arms. As soon as the 3 CLs noticed the bus, a determined look settled over their identical faces, and they sprinted after it again. Faster, Shiraz ordered the bus driver. You got it. The Lobrian man sped down the alley toward the obelisk, hydroplaning on the slick street. The bus then hit a pothole, sending the girls flying out of their seats. When Tookie scrambled up again, one of the CLs was right alongside the bus, staring through the window at them. Excuse me. Everyone screamed. Dylan looked like she might faint, but she didn't. But she looked like she was going to. Have mercy, Shiraz wailed. Then Tookie looked at the front windshield ahead
Uncle
of...
Jesse?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's have the mercy, but I'm just like, I don't really think the broken English is I think yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I did the same thing. I was just like, this is weird. I don't like this.
Have mercy, Shiraz wailed. Then Tookie looked out the front windshield. Ahead of them stood Lizzie, frozen, staring at the oncoming bus. Don't run! Tookie screamed at her through the glass. Lizzie, stay right there! Lizzie blinked, then stared at something on the ground. It glinted in the moonlight. She bent down to pick it up. Tookie stared at the shiny, sharp metal object in her hand.
Warning.
Warning. Skip. The bus sped fast through the alley. A lone shopkeeper locked up the alleyway right in front of the bus. The driver slammed on the brakes. The bus lurched to the left. Everyone screamed and shot forward. Tookie's head hit the windshield, and she immediately felt a jab of white-hot pain. And then everything went black.
Oh,
Chapter
God.
end. Oh my god.
Oh God. We've got 16 people in live chat right now. Thank you guys.
Thank
We're
you.
so sorry. R.I.P. Lizzie. Did she not get turned into a Lizzie pancake? Maddie says Modelland, I hate it.
No, she wasn't turned into a pancake. I think they stopped, or there was a shopkeeper that was in between Lizzie and the bus. There was just some stuff that Lizzie was doing that I didn't want to say. Yeah, this is...
For our own protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably best for the best. You can fill in the blank. We're not missing anything. You can use your imagination. Paulo says, just wondering which is worse for your health, this book or meth. Kind of a toss-up, but anywho, sorry I can't stay. Kind of busy. No, save yourself. We
Save
love having you here, but
yourself.
save yourself.
Or you could just have it on mute so we can have the viewers.
You don't have to do that. I appreciate people doing that, but you don't have to do that.
Listen to us talk, please. How long is this next chapter? Oh gosh, it's 11 pages.
Oh, that's not bad. Could be worse.
But
Well,
wow.
I said whale, but I said it
Yeah.
weird. Well.
Well.
So Spencer tells me that I sound overtly southern on certain words, so then I just lean into it, and then I'm just like, I did it on purpose.
Well, shoot.
Well, damn it. Then we don't have to suffer anymore. All the characters should get turned into pancakes. Pancakes.
Oh gosh. With whipped cream.
Of course. Alright.
Okay, here we go.
Oof.
Good luck.
This will cross us over into we'll be less than 100 pages away from the end.
Hooray.
Hooray. Well, actually, less than that. We're already past it because if you don't count the
Acknowledgement.
we're already past that point.
Yay.
Yeah. Avery, we're not forcing you to read this. You can stop. I know. I'm not getting this far in Modelland and not being able to say I read all of Modelland. That's just not happening. All right. Breathless Sister Friends. Breathless Sister Friends, chapter 39. Searing pain pulsed at Tookie's scalp. The cold ground chilled her bones. After a moment, she opened her eyes. The night stars and round moon glowed overhead. The obscure obelisks towered to the left, the 3 giant spikes in the sky. Where was she? The last thing she remembered was Lizzie picking up a piece of sharp metal, and it cuts off. It doesn't say what she did. Tookie shot up. The bus lay on its side next to the obscure obelisks, its windshield smashed, its tires flattened, its front end crumpled. The driver was nowhere to be seen. Dylan, Shiraz, Piper, Tookie called quietly, her heart hammering. Please make them be okay, she silently willed. Over here, Dylan's voice meekly responded. All of us. Are you hurt? Tookie scrambled towards them. No, Piper said weakly. Shiraz murmured that she was all right too. Tookie peered into the darkness. One friend left to find. Ooh. Lizzie, she cried. Nothing. Tookie leapt to her feet. Lizzie, she called louder. Lizzie! Again, nothing. Tears began to spill down in her cheeks. No, an image of Lizzie slamming the swam through her mind. She had failed Lizzie again. Then everything just came to a head. Everything Tookie had been through. The people walking over her like she was trash during every SPLD. The daily fear that the Uticas were going to be mutilated and murdered. Okay. Sarpace's nasty secrets and cruel spirit. Tookie's toothbrush bulging in her father's pocket on its way to prove she wasn't his. I remember that there was something with a toothbrush, but I can't remember what, and I don't care. Gannero's mean taunts, feeling unlovable, then loved, then humiliated by Bravo. Every second, every minute of her existence suddenly erupted like lava from a long, dormant volcano, just like the volcano Patrick says he wants to throw this book into. How could I have lost you again? Tookie wailed loudly, her voice echoing into the night. Why do I keep letting you down? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She did say it 3 times. The sobs made her buck and shudder. Her wails were so intense they reverberated off the mountain in stereo. Finally, Tookie stopped and held her breath and looked around. Even though she'd quit crying, the wails kept coming. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Tookie spun around in the direction of the noise. Was that someone else sobbing? A figure kneeled at the base of the obscure obelisk, and then thwack! A twisted red struck A twisted reed struck her in the moonlight, landing on the figure's back. Blood rose through the figure's thin skin. Thin shirt. Thwack! Thwack! Oh my god, Tookie whispered. CL. Oh no, this might be another trigger warning for self-harm.
Yep.
Before Tookie's eyes, CL, and only one CL this time, not 3, started to claw at herself. Tears mixed with blood streamed down her face. I'm sorry, she wailed, her voice raw. I'm sorry. She tore at her shirt to get down to her bare flesh. Huge new welts rose on her skin. Older ones were still and angry, collided red. The blood dripped down her back, pooling on the ground. Tookie gasped. CL raised her head and spied Tookie. Her eyes widened. Her mouth became tense and hard. Her nostrils flared. She stood and advanced towards Tookie with her bloody hands outstretched and her expression unhinged and twisted. Her hair snarled around her face. Tookie backed away, her heart fluttering madly in her chest. But instead of running away again, Tookie mustered up all her courage. Sorry. And stood firm. It didn't make sense to keep running. CL would just find them again and again and again. Take me, she said softly to the advancing CL. Experiment on me instead of my friends. Torture me, sacrifice me, kill me, let them live. CL halted in her tracks and stared at her. After a moment, she started to tremble. She covered her face with her hands and turned away. I'm sorry. She began to moan, one moan. Tookie frowned. What's happening to you? She demanded. Why are you crying? She certainly hadn't expected this from CL. You didn't? Rage, yes. Fury, certainly. Painful death at her hands, absolutely, but not desperate sobs. It's my fault, CL blubbered into the concrete. It's my fault, my fault. She could hardly get the words out through her choking sobs. Tookie blinked at her. The sacrifices. Clearly, CL was racked with guilt over what she'd done to earlier sacrificed girls, perhaps to become a 777. Then CL turned to Dylan, Piper, and Shiraz. With all my powers, I should have been able to save you, she screamed. The girls looked at each other confused. Save them, Tookie repeated in a whisper. I don't think she is meaning Unica's, Shiraz said. CL took in huge gulps of air, whirling around to face the obelisks. I miss you so much. Then she collapsed onto the base of the obelisk, her forehead against the tallest pillar. Is her forehead a 6 head? I guess not. Every day I told you that you were good enough, special enough, beautiful enough, that you deserved to be at Modelland. All I wanted was for you to know how amazing you were, how perfect you were, just as you were. I should have shut the hell up with when I noticed your night sweats, your headaches, your bulging veins. It's my fault you got sick and caught the... Who is she talking to? Piper murmured. She needs to be hospitalized. Then CL rose once more and turned to the mountains. You killed them, she yelled at the mountain, her whole body shaking. Bloody murder! She turned back to the obelisk. I hope Tyra's okay.
Yeah.
I searched for you, she moaned. I searched and searched. I couldn't find you, but I kept... Pages are sticking together like the book is trying to save me from myself. Searching. And then I found you underneath. I dug and dug and dug till my hands bled, and there you were. CL smiled dazedly as though in a dream. All 3 of you. I don't know how long you were buried, but you still looked so beautiful to me, and we were together again, but you didn't wake up. You wouldn't open your eyes. Oh my god. Then CL whirled again and pulled on Tookie's arm. Tookie reared back, but CL's face was crumpled and extremely vulnerable. Help me, Tookie, CL whispered. Help me open their eyes. Help me wake them up. Tookie stared at the Intoxibella. All at once, everything she assumed about CL flipped upside down. She still wasn't sure what was tormenting the Intoxibella. But one thing was certain. CL was not guilty of murder. The guilt she felt right now was over something far more abstract, something more like bereavement and failure. When Tookie didn't move, CL groaned and fingered the reed on the ground, preparing it for her back once more. Moving quickly, Tookie reached out and grabbed her wrist. CL, stop it! CL paused and stared at her through cloudy, dazed eyes. Please, CL. Tookie sank to her knees in front of her. Give me the reed. You can't do this to yourself. Not anymore. CL clutched the reed hard. I deserve this. I need to pay for what I've done. Her eyes darted to Dylan, Piper, and Shiraz. I need to pay for not saving you. CL, look at me, Tookie commanded. You're not talking about them, are you? She asked tentatively, gesturing to her friends. You're talking about someone else, right? Someone who died in the diabolical divide. CL shut her eyes tightly, as though reliving some terrible, debilitating pain all over again. My sister friends from home Hundel, Woodland, and Catherine. When I became a 777, 777 Intoxibella, the first thing I did after the tournament was teleportal, she couldn't just call it teleporting, back home so I could celebrate with the three of them. I told them they were worthy, that Modelland rules were ridiculous, and that they deserved to be there more than I did. Hendel was so beautiful, so voluptuous, with bright lavender eyes. Woodland's hair and skin were pale and luminescent like a full moon, and Catherine was so tiny and had the cutest freckles and the most luxurious curly brown hair. Tookie flinched. She looked over her shoulder at Dylan, Shiraz, and Piper. Their mouths hung open in shock. Tookie turned back to CL. So what happened that got you in so much trouble with the belladonna? CL shut her eyes because... Oh, I was like, what's happening?
Sorry, the final
Okay.
dinosaur.
Woo!
Here, I'll just...
Dinosaurs.
Dino pile. I can play with them as you're reading.
Yes. Tookie turned back to CL. CL shut her eyes. Because of my sixth sense power, I feel things intensely. I was living in an amazing penthouse in Lodorno, and my sister friends would visit me every day after I finished with photo shoots, runaways, posing for my picture on Metopian money, being the guests of honor at parties thrown by royalty worldwide, televised poetry slams, and autograph signings. My life was an insane dream overnight, but I would always, every day, run back to them. But when a week passed and there was no sign of them, I knew something was wrong, and I knew exactly where to go, to the divide. The creatures there are like things you wouldn't even see in your worst nightmares, and there were moments we were like, oh yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Have flashbacks to Symbol Monster. And there were moments I wasn't sure I'd get through it alive, but I found my sister friends one by one. 2 were buried, and I dug up their bodies with my bare hands. I was planning to trot their bodies through Lodorno in my own personal parade to show the world it was time. People understood that Modelland's narrow beauty ideals are flawed and in need of change, but Gennaro got wind of my plan and went on a search for me. Luckily, I heard about his pursuit before he caught me, so I quickly created this monument in my sister friend's honor and buried them here. She pointed to the obelisks. I couldn't parade their bodies through the town square, but this was the next best thing I could do. Then I gave myself up to him. Dylan backed up from the 3 pillars. Wait, there are dead bodies under here? Body girl, Shiraz whispered. CL nodded and fought back another sob. That's why the belladonna has been punishing me. Piper rocked on her heels. Why didn't Lodorno just demolish the 3 obelisks when they first went up? CL wiped her bloody hands on her shirt. Most people in Lodorno thought the obelisks was some kind of mystical sign, and in the 6 months after I put them there, tourism increased tenfold, so the mayor allowed them to stay. Oh, tourism. Capitalism. The belladonna demanded that they be taken down, but she has no jurisdiction over Metopia. So she takes her frustration out on me. Suddenly, CL's face twisted with pain, and she gripped her stomach and raised the reed to beat herself once more. Tookie caught her arm again. Don't, please. What happened is not your fault. You can't literally beat yourself up over this. You were chosen to be an Intoxibella. Sorry, Gabe.
It's all good. Dinosaurs.
A 777. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
We've gone dinosaur cam. Emergency dinosaur cam. CL, and you use your fame to spread your message all over the world, and everyone loves you. Your friends, yes, their deal. Yes, they're dead, gone forever, but they still live inside of you, and now inside of Piper and Shiraz and Dylan. Maybe it's time to let them go, let their souls rest so that you can rest. CL shook her head. But Tookie, I feel like my soul is dead. I feel so lost, like I've gone insane. With all due respect, CL, I must agree with your last statement, Piper murmured. Me too. Not helping, Piper. Me too, Shiraz said. You cry lots, but how do we know you still won't do the tortures to us, the killings? CL flinched. Hold up, kill you? First there isn't the experimenting, Shiraz clarified, and then the killings. CL blinked hard. Killing? Are you serious? Do you realize how I rebelled to get you three to Modelland, the rules I broke? On the day of discovery, you weren't on the list that they gave me. I got rid of that thing and specifically chose you three instead. So we really weren't on the list, Piper said morosely. No, you weren't, CL shrugged. The only one who was on the list was Tookie. Tookie was on the list. She was the first pickup, and when I saw how unusual looking she was, I thought maybe this was my chance. I could be a renegade, pick girls I wanted, girls who could make up for Hendel's, Woodland's, and Catherine's deaths. It was my experiment, my grand project. But why me? Tookie blurted out. Why did Modelland want me on the list? You just said... Looking. CL raised her hands helplessly. I'm sorry, Tookie, I don't know. Shiraz still didn't look convinced, but you... Looking at us so strangely in class, she protested. You gave us the evil eye like you want to squish us like bugs. CL winced. If I'd been looking at you like that, I'm sorry. It's just, you remind me so much of them. Your spunk, your sassiness, your intelligence. Do you know how refreshing it is to have girls like you at Modelland? It's never been done before, so sometimes I stare at you and can't believe I did it. I can't believe I actually got you to Modelland. I can't believe I figured out a way to get to the Belladonna to keep you there. And then I got flashbacks of my sister friends, and my mind starts doing crazy things. I'm sorry if I scared you. It was a combination of crazy and tough love, but I feel like you're making a huge leap for all of us, for girls everywhere. You too. Tookie, you don't think you're excluded... Don't think you're excluded from this. Tookie and the others exchanged uncertain glances. She's like, you're weird too, so I count you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Tookie and the others exchanged uncertain glances. Tookie thought of the terrifying conversation she'd overheard of the Belladonna's chambers not long ago and realized she had it all wrong. They were CL's experiments, all right, but not in the way she thought. Well, then... Sorry, but... We're not at Modelland anymore, Piper said slowly. She gestured around to Ladorno skyline, obviously, and that's why I'm here, to bring your butts back, CL said. Don't count that one, I'm just going to take a few.
Chug, chug, chug. Hydrate, hydrate.
It's a combination of tough love and crazy. Brain empty. Agreed, Salt Mountain. Agreed. How did you know we left? Tookie said. How did you know to follow us? CL put her hands on her hips and looked down at Tookie. Girl, I have 6 sensa. One of my 777 powers, remember? That look on your face when I was taking you to Man Attack, I just felt something was up. Then she checked the Kaleido watch on her wrist. Oh, lordy. We're not escaped from the color time. Oh, lordy, they're gonna notice you're gone soon, and I can just see Ganera's bitchy little face if he catches us. Then you really won't be able to come back to Modelland. Come on, now. We got to go. In the words of Philip DeFranco, bitches be crazy. You don't have to be a woman to be a bitch. You can be a man and be a bitch, but remember, bitches be crazy.
Yeah.
Shiraz shifted her weight. Piper tented her fingers at her breastbone, thinking, like this. Huh. Okay. Dylan raked her hands through her long ponytails, and Tookie shivered. In her couture underwear from Man Attack. I forgot she's still in her underwear. My brain blanked that all out. Go back, just like that, back to their Lumiere-less D rooms, back to Zarpesa, back to Ganero, back to Catwalk Corridor, and the taunting, loveless Belladonna, and the accusation, always the accusation that they weren't as good enough as the others, that they didn't deserve to be there, that the threat that they could still be sacrificed, maybe not by CL, but by someone. I can feel what you're thinking, CL said softly. You haven't had it easy this year. and you probably won't have it easy your whole life. I know you girls have struggled with all your baggage, but hell, we all do. You're not wrong if you don't think you belong there, because yeah, you don't. You don't look anything like the girls at Modelland. I know I might sound crazy. I just had a Frozen flashback. Sounds crazy, but sorry.
All my life it's been a series of doors in my face. And suddenly I walk into you.
Oh god, now it's in my head. I'm so sorry for what I've done.
Well, it's better than this to
Yeah.
be stuck in one's head.
Yeah. Not the Modelland soundtrack, the song.
Running. I don't know.
I know I might sound crazy, and as you know, I kind of am. You're not crazy. But I really believe the four of you have the power to kick beauty's ass and turn it on its head. But really beauty really can mean so much more than what the damn belladonna dictates every 5 years. Here's Tyra Banks' PSA. And I want all the dumbass idiots with their heads in the beauty sand to wake the hell up, but I can't do it alone. I know I've tried. This would be a more powerful message if it wasn't coming from Tyra Banks, known for shaming people for literally every physical thing about them.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if any of the America's Next Top Model survivors read this and were like, oh, really?
Really,
Interesting.
Tyra. Okay.
The girls glance at each other again. If you go back to Modelland, CL went on, you'll be symbols. If I chose you three because I felt you could carry on my mission. And Tookie, don't you see how much you've changed? You've become this ass kicker and man attack, a winner, a leader. We need more girls like... She only won because she got the thing. The Smythe.
And Bravo kind of gave up.
Yeah, he did. We need more girls like you at Modelland. Please come back with me, please. Then she shook her head, gazing at them almost lovingly. Will you do it for me at least? Will you try? Because maybe if I know you're up there trying, maybe I can let this guilt go. She gestured to the obelisks. Maybe I can let them rest in peace and let the wounds on my back heal too. Oof. There was a long silence. Owls tooted in the distance. Leaves on the mountain rustled ominously. The lights from Ladorno twinkled. Tookie considered her friends. By the looks of their faces, she could tell they were thinking about exactly what she was. The positives of Modelland, all the wonderful things they'd experienced there. What wonderful things? The amazing architecture and design, the gorgeous fabric flowers and sunsets, Jen, Kamalini, the D, the E, the classes with Guru Loro, and even Guru Pacifico, the sense of belonging somewhere. You just said you know you don't belong there. Even if the others didn't believe they did, running towards a challenge instead of away from it, not being a forget a girl. Yeah, what positives? That's what I said.
They just skip over the fun time she has and just go straight to like drama.
I think she wanted to make like I think somebody has even said this in chat, like a Willy Wonka-esque, like, look at how fantastical and wonderful the factory is, even though all those kids got killed, but she didn't. It wasn't that. I don't in any part of me want to go to Modelland.
Nope.
Slowly, everyone began to smile. Dylan reached out and grabbed Tookie's hand. Tookie reached out and grabbed Shiraz's hand, and Shiraz took Piper's, who held Dylan's. I'm so glad we get the rundown of who's holding whose hand. Completing the circle. Then Tookie broke the chain and held out her hand to CL. We'll only go on one condition, she gestured to the reed. Hand it over. CL glanced at the reed, looking at it as if she was about to part with a piece of herself. Then she rolled her shoulders back, stood up straighter, and placed it in Tookie's hands. Promise me you'll stop this, Tookie said. Ironically, they were the exact words she wanted to say to Lizzie about her sharp objects. She only hoped that someday she could. I'll try, CL agreed. Yeah, you can't just really be like, hey, promise me you'll stop. It's like they kind of need a support system.
Therapy.
It's a hard thing to go through. Like, it... You promise? Dylan asked. Yeah, Miss Boo Big Teak Nation, CL assured her. I promise. Tookie turned back to the others. She thought about how helpless she'd felt in the past. She had no control of her destiny, but now she realized it was all about choices. She had much more control over her future than she ever thought she did. Then I think there's only one logical choice, isn't there? Pouch, Shiraz bellowed. Thank God, CL said, rolling her eyes. Y'all had me sweating bullets there, and y'all know how hard I sweat. Do we? Now let's go, otherwise we'll miss the whole 7-7 tournament. With that, fabric flowed from CL's fingers. One of the jeweled tentacles that came from her body gently wiped the tears on her eyes. She glanced at the obelisk again, then walked over to them and kneeled down. I love you, chicas, she whispered, and I'll never forget you, ever. But these girls, she gestured to the Uticas, they're going to do it for you, okay? One by one, she kissed the obelisks, starting with the tall ivory one, then the thicker golden one, and finally the smallest speckled one. And then, with a swish of her pouch and a stretch of her arm, she swept Piper, Dylan, Shiraz, and Tookie up into the clouds to Modelland once more.
Oh, you read like 50 plus pages to this.
Oh, I think more than that combined, like across. I think we've each read, because we're almost at the place where we can say we've read 100 pages today, which will probably cross that threshold when we come back.
Yep.
Just kidding. How long is that chapter?
8 pages.
Okay, we have at least time for that one chapter before we take a break for dinner, if you're up for that. The chat says, literally, get Tookie $5 and it would be worth more. Wait, hang on. Give Tookie $5 and it would be worth more than what she went through, right?
Yeah.
Come on, the book is almost over. Yeah, that's part of why I'm like, let's just get back on tonight and finish it, because we're almost there, and that way we don't have to subject another Saturday to this. Maybe we can subject next Saturday to Imagines with Natasha. God help me.
Sure.
Or, read a better book so that Gabe will still be my friend after all of this.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
She shaves her hair and then dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Abigail. Oh my god. So is that trying to say, like, she decided to be a part of what society wants her to be, and then she unalives afterwards? Or it just is ironic that she's beautiful without her hair, and then she just happened to be unalived later?
I think Tyra Banks has ascended to a plane of existence that none of us can perceive, so there's no point in trying to understand what she could possibly mean. Same features as Tookie's friends. Yeah, I caught that. It was not subtle. Tyra is not one for subtlety. We still have the Belladonna backstory to get to. Oh, goody. I thought that might be something she was saving for the second or third book that we would never get.
No. Well, we still have 7 chapters left, so yay for Belladonna backstory.
She was high. She might have been. Don't overthink it, Gabe. Tyra did not write this with thoughts in mind. A few thoughts. They just were thoughts that are not able to be decoded by me, anyway.
Chapter 40.
And the CL backstory, too. Oh, I think you're a little behind, Darth Sidious. We just got through the CL backstory. Unless there's more of it?
Oh, gosh. In 7 chapters, we get a Belladonna and we get another CL bit of backstory. Maybe we'll finally learn whose name was crossed off and was replaced with Tookie's.
Darth just says, you'll see. Oh, God. I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. That's what Star said. I like thinking about Hamilton instead of this.
Oh, okay. I've seen a little bit of Hamilton. The only songs I really heard was Schuyler Sisters and You'll Be Back, and then the one where Angelica's like, oh, I kind of like him, but he's gonna break my heart, so have my sister as your wife.
And then she regrets it forever.
Yep. Oh, and then I'm not throwing away my shot.
I am not throwing away my shot.
And I remember talking to my mom about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of ironic. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, he threw away his shot. He didn't in the thing with Burr.
He throws away his shot at the end, because at the end he was like, oh, okay, I don't want to be a murderer. I'd rather do this, I guess.
Yeah, and my mom's like, oh, that's what that meant? And I'm like, oh, Oh, my sweet summer child.
My personal favorite foreshadowing in the show, just because I want to say one more thing before you have to get back to that.
Yeah.
I like when in the song Hurricane he says I couldn't seem to die, and then it mixes with Aaron Burr's song Wait For It, which is one of my favorite songs. So you think like, oh, he's just like, it's just a reprise of that, but then you're like, wait, Aaron Burr's the one that kills him, so when he says I couldn't seem to die, he's saying just wait, I'll kill you eventually. Like, that's actually kind of genius.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Aaron Burr.
Um,
Rude.
Salt Mountain says one of them has a kind of huge trigger warning. Oh, great. The last chapters get kind of insane. This hasn't been kind of insane?
We have 7 chapters left. Where does the...
It's been 472 pages of insane so far. Sorry, I'm shedding on the book.
Oh, no, it's all good. I'm like... Yeah.
There are some things in the book that tie into characters and plot points. Got you. So it's somewhat clever. Interesting. Not as in the chapter includes a trigger warning, just that it really needs one badly. Oh, interesting. Just gets more and more ridiculous the further you get in. Hello again. My phone died. Your phone was trying to protect you. I'm so sorry. It can only get more insane. It can get more insane. Literally how? I have no idea. The whole story is all types of insane. This is insane. This is insane. But I believe you because chat has not steered us wrong once during this. Chat has tried to warn us the entire way.
And we're still going.
And we're like, nope. We're here to suffer. All right. I will let you continue. I'm just going to sit here and rework my channel banner. Or my shop banner. You know. Because that's the important thing in this moment.
Yes, we are going to use this for money. Just like Tyra used all of America's Next Top Model for money. And she has a lot of it, so she did something right, I guess.
She did.
40-40, the 7-7 tournament. Oh, my poor dear darling. You thought it was over, didn't you? That the Unicas piled into Miss used to be sweet, then turned crazy, and now it's sweet again in Intoxibellas.
Oh, we're back to the month.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean. I don't want to interrupt you, but we're back. They said it would come back, and it's back.
The narrator who's... Or didn't we say Billy Porter was the narrator and he's like, I quit? Or they're like, I quit, I can't do this. And
this whole time since he's been gone, they've just been like pleading with him as he's like locked himself in the bathroom, being like, no, I can't do it. And they've just like lured him out of his dressing room, like, please, Billy Porter.
We'll let you have your own spinoff of the Cinderella story where it was Camila Cabello, but it's all gonna be about the fairy god person. You. All right, okay. How much is the check? They put a number on a piece of paper. Okay, fine.
They'll do whatever they did to convince him to do that cringy thing with rendition of What's Going On at the DNC a couple of years ago with like the really bad green screen behind him, and he had like wings. It was a lot.
Oh.
It was a lot. They did Billy Porter dirty.
Oh. Some people.
Anyway, sorry. Oh, Perry.
Oh, my dear darling. You thought it was over, didn't you? That the Unicas piled in a mist used to be sweet, then turned crazy, and now it's sweet again and Intoxibella's pouch let and sailed up into the sunset at the end? Darling, you should be ashamed of yourself. There's so much more to the story to tell you, and how dare you assume otherwise? It was quite the shocker that Ciel was not the crazy psychopath, wasn't it, darling? Might I suggest the next time you come across another vindictive, vile, venomous creature, you stop, drop, and roll around the idea that maybe, shall I say, B-word did not spring out of her mother's birth canal that way. I can money-back guarantee that her sorrowful sourpuss saga would be quite interesting, but nowhere near as juicy as this one. But enough about those powerful B-words, darling. Powerful witches, darling. Let's move on to bewitching powers of the 7-7 kind. The stunning, statuesque, strobotronic stars with stupefying stratosphere strut kind, to be exact. For today, the brand new 7-7s will be anointed. 7 girls, and only 7, mind you, will graduate to become Intoxibellas, the pinnacle of a Modelland Bella's existence, darling. The great culmination of all her skills and powers. The chosen 7 will join the ranks of the only famous, the most celebrated, and the most admired people in the world. Their whole lives will become the stuff of jealous dreams. And there are certainly name-calling jealous dreamers among them, darling, uttering the much more pejorative 7-7 nickname, you know, the one about sock-up, straggly, strep-throated strumpets with stenchy, stupid thighs under their espresso cigar smoke and egg salad sandwich-scented breaths. Why is that bitter witch had the worst halitosis? But let's not dwell on their mouthy stench now. I'd rather stick to sweet-smelling topics, because food. Someone please get them some eucalyptus, bergamot, and ylang breath mint stat. YLANG, ylang breath mint stat. Now, while the day of discovery can be attended by anyone and everyone, even your one-tooth cousin or hog-maw gnawing aunt, the 7-7 tournament is invite only and is reserved for a chosen few, 43,347 to be exact, but who's counting? The brand new obstacle course gleams in the new stadium, ready for the upper-class Bella challengers. And there's an extra special seating section reserved for every living Intoxibella, all of whom are required to witness the spectacle. Get your designer shades and envy daggers ready, darling, because your eyes will ache from all the pultridge concentrated into one tight space. Backstage powers are tested and finessed. A multiplicity mess up where a girl spat into two fountains. A girl spat into two fountains instead of splitting into two of herself. Oh
God.
Chameleon slip up where an anxious girl accidentally transformed into an actual chameleon. And the Centauras are knotted and re-knotted for good luck. And while the day of discovery selection has fixed predeterminations, like college basketball final scores, the 7-7 tournament is free of black market schemes, darling. All I can say is, may the best Bellas win. Those who don't must return to society. No power, no fame, no nothing. A lucky few B-minuses will be selected to become scouts, choosing featured girls at T-Dot, as well as running errands for Modelland as the institution sees fit. But everyone else gets sent through Ganero's famed home doors. Ta-ta. For Tookie De La Crème, such options don't apply. Our favorite not-so-forget-a-no-see is just reaching the tallest peak of Modelland and landing outside the gates. Thrilled to be back on the land, safe, sound, happy, but maybe not for long. When CL's pouch landed at the Modelland gates, the area was luckily devoid of guards. Putting a finger to her lips, CL rushed Tookie, Shiraz, Piper, and Dylan through the mosaic check-in face, whispering secrets to its patty tile lips once more. The face let them pass, whispering, authenticated, validated, and certified. And instead of entrant, said appetizer. But the gates opened all the same. They raced past the row of belladonna statues as fast as they could. In the distance, Tookie heard the sound of drums beating, people cheering, and a nonspecific frenzied rumble of activity. Hot darn! We're going to be so late, CL murmured, glancing at her Kaleido watch again. We'll probably have to stand. She paused to rub her feet. And I am not standing, because after the three of me running after four of y'all, my dogs are killing me. Shiraz looked nervous. Please, CL, don't say unaliving word K. As they burst into Beautification Boulevard, Tookie and the others gasped. Frantic 7-7 competitors dressed in elaborate otherworldly couture ensembles and the most glittering complex jewelry Tookie had ever seen. Intricate headpieces that draped around their entire faces, necklaces that swung around the wearer's neck like hula hoops, a giant tiger's eye ring that actually winked at Tookie as she passed, ran in circles around them, as if the Unicuz and CL were invisible. They are so obsessed with the 7-7 tournament, they can't even see how crazy and muddy we all look right now, Tookie thought, which was maybe a good thing. Menacants rushed to and fro as well, some directing traffic with hefty batons. A long line of Bellas snaked around the outside of the stadium, and a mannequin doled out wristbands that assigned each Bella to a specific section according to her uniform color. Devin Rump, mayor of Metopia, trundled in with dignitaries from all of Metopia's quadrants. Their wives followed, more weighted down with fashionable wares than they had been on T-Dod the year before. After them came what looked like 100 slack-jawed civilians of all ages, staring around at Modelland in wonder and awe. Contest winners, Tookie thought, looking at them. The people who'd won the drawings that took place in every country, who got to attend the most amazing tournament in the world, and the most amazing place in the world. One of the winners raised a camera to her eyes, but a mannequin grabbed it away. Mental memories only. Another winner plucked up a perfect fabric flower from the soil and created it in his hand. A souvenir, he gushed. A second mannequin snatched it from his hand. Oh.
That's okay, Perry. That was just my phone. I didn't need it. Thank you.
No problem. It's crazy out in the most amazing place in the world. Mental memories only. A souvenir. Pluck another, and I'll pluck you right out of here. It's crazy here at Modelland. Shiraz bellowed, dancing around in a circle. Yeah, mass hysteria, crazy times 12, the pinnacle of belovedness, chicness, and bedlam. CL said in a blousy tone, let's move it, chicas. We need to get to the stadium before they slam the door on us. They don't let latecomers in. But Tookie couldn't help pausing for a moment and staring up at the majestic buildings all around her. She was back. She wasn't going to unalive. It was a better feeling than having cold whipped cream poured down her throat.
Stop. I'm out of water, I think.
No.
Yeah, I got a little bit in there.
If she'd had time to sink to her knees and kiss the land, she would have. CL paused a few paces away from the stadium and whipped around. Oh, lordy, she smacked her hand over her head. I gotta get you into your dress uniforms, otherwise everyone will know we were up to something. She pointed at Tookie, especially you, Miss Muddy Undies man attacker. Okay, pit stop. She switched directions and headed for the D. 7-7 hopeful switched by them in a hurry. My Centura, one contestant screamed into Tookie's face. Where's my Centura? Did you see that skunk emerald with it? Tookie just shrugged. How would she know? She didn't say skunk.
I was gonna say, my brain took a second to
Yeah.
Because in this book, nothing surprises me, but it took me a second. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm caught up.
That just reminds me of Cycle 3. That skunk harlot threw a beer on my hair. Tiffany didn't say it like that, but yeah. I tried out the seduction on a Besteroso this morning, and he told me I smelled like a witch in heat. Another girl shrieked, staring morosely at the 3D replication of her. Hope they're 18 at this point, right? I feel like this is 18, but it's still just like, why? Tara, why? I'm doomed too, another girl moaned. The belladonna said I was edgy and strange with a capital E-N-S. I should just volunteer to be a mannequin now. Tookie, guys, a voice pierced through the raucous din. Tookie looked over and saw Jen pushing through the crowd towards them. She had on a fuchsia puffy sleeve dress that spelled out Jen L. Oh, like CL, except for it's Jen L.
Oh.
In 3D. Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me during the go-see-go. She lifted her foot and showed off a glittering tan from here with long black shingles. Maurizio, shoe designer to the Intoxibellas, created a shoe just for me. He calls it the Jen Leto.
Okay.
Like that? Like them? Love them. Tookie grabbed Jen's hand and glanced at the scene. Wow, you're finally competing. Are you excited? Excited, but scared. Jen giggled nervously. Then she noticed CL beside Tookie. Her straight black hair instantly morphed to mimic CL's lustrous auburn waves. CL! She cried, oh my gosh, I am freaking out. I keep trying to say to myself, but I keep trying to stay myself, but I keep turning into you. Do you think that's okay? I mean, my power is a chameleon. CL touched Jen's head, transforming her hair back to its authentic black. You're using the power wrong, honey. Chameleon is the ability to assume different looks, not to impersonate another Intoxibella. People want an original, not a knockoff. The real you is far more special than the you who tries to be me. Jen pressed her hands to her chest. You really think so? No.
And then she just throws her off a cliff. I don't know what I'm supposed to think.
She threw her into the zip zap where she ended up in the divide where a giant fireball where a giant fireball setting up cinematically. It shows Jen and you see the light of the flame getting closer to her face before cutting back to everyone just standing there being like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Jen, girl, you are way more beautiful than I could ever be. If I was insecure, I'd be changing into you every single day. CL smiled beatifically, Beatifically, beautifully, beatifically.
What's wrong with words, Tyra?
Yeah. She smiled kindly. Tookie couldn't help but grin too. There was something so different about CL ever since she'd shared the story about her unalive friends and told them goodbye. It was like a huge weight had been lifting from her shoulders. Yes, because the trauma of that can be lifted off in a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how trauma works.
And then CL slits back into, I'm a little sad now. And Tookie's like, God, can you get over yourself? That's probably what was going to happen in book 2. Tookie couldn't help but grin too. There was something so different about CL ever since she... Then a horn sounded and Jinjin's eyes went, oh my gosh, that's for me. I have to go. Jinjin's hair then began zapping back and forth between black and auburn. Jen, CL said sternly and lovingly. Jen paused, squeezed her eyes shut tightly, and shook her head hard to the left to right. Her black long tresses returned and she ran toward her Bella mates. Smoke the competition, girl, Dylan yelled after her. Finally, they made it to the D. CL shuttled them into their bedrooms and flung open their various closet doors. Inside each closet was a shimmering two-tone green leotard bodice with a deep V-neck and a stiff floor-length skirt with a long slit in the front, exposing bare legs.
Yeah.
There are 15.
15. I'm out of water.
Oh, I'm sorry for
Do
yelling.
it for the both of us.
Okay. And don't forget your Centura. Once they dressed, CL, now clad in the same outfit as the Unicos, hurried them onto Beautification Boulevard once more. But eerily, the courtyard was empty. The golden walkway was as smooth as glass. The tree branches rustled quietly in the breeze. The hedge faces frowned disparagingly at CL and her charges. You're too late, one mouthed. Not if I can help it, CL said through her teeth, yanking Tookie's wrist and pulling her forward. You four are seeing that ceremony if I have to teleportal your bums inside. They sprinted toward the stadium, but were too late. 2 minute hands had just shut the big iron doors. Darn it, darn it, darn it! CL yelled as she stomped her foot. Piper froze suddenly. What was that? The others, even CL, stopped and stared at her. What was what? Dylan said. That noise. Piper gestured at the wall. I heard something on the other side. Tookie listened hard, which wasn't easy over the cheers of the stadium. But then she heard a gurgle too, and a snapping twig. Whatever it was sounded close. Oh my gosh, look! Shiraz, Dylan, and Tookie followed her gaze. On top of the wall was a sooty, skeletal, groping hand.
Ew.
Everyone shrieked and jumped away. 5 angry fingers twitched as though stricken with palsy. When its second hand appeared, the girls grabbed one another. The hands was not in too good of a shape. It was very dark, as if burned. The top of a muddy head appeared next, followed by 2 bulbous, demonic, cruddy eyes. Everyone screamed and took another step back. 2 shoulders appeared next to the wall, then an abdomen and legs. As the figure caught sight of them, its eyes widened. A growl emitted from the depths of its belly. Piper gasped, "It's a gizzard. They unalive mademoiselle."
Oh, it's Hunchy. We know Hunchy.
And now one's come for me. Tears streamed down her face. The normally stoic girl. What? That's impossible, CL whispered, placing her hands authoritatively on her hips, but even she took one timid step back. The figure hefted its body onto the top of the wall and then dropped down in front of them in a cloud of dust to rest on its haunches. It had a gnarled, hunched back. It licked its lips as if it hadn't eaten for days and considered them an acceptable meal. Thick saliva dripped down its chin. Piper shrank behind Dylan. Tookie squeezed her hand. The scaly, charred monster turned and stared directly at Tookie. Its sooty eye, I spoiled myself to this a little bit ago. Its sooty eyes narrowed and hundreds of cracks of dry mud covered its face. Tookie's gaze fell to the monster's hands. There was a filthy, tattered doll tucked under its arm. A doll Tookie knew all too well. This wasn't a leg gizzard. It was Creamy? Tookie cried and promptly passed out.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
I spoiled this for myself earlier.
No, I remember you being like, "Oh my god, I just saw something." I'm like, "What did you see?"
I'm not saying.
So yeah, dinner is ready,
No.
so we can go eat. But if you want to, we can just come back and try to finish the rest of this after dinner.
I don't know. I'm just like, maybe we can wait. I don't because we're on page 41 and there's 570 pages or 569 pages including acknowledgments.
Chat who have read the book, what do you guys think?
Should we have one more Saturday or try to power through?
Told you she would return. We were in the home stretch now. Jeez, why? Continue, Darth says.
Okay.
Darth says continue. No, one more Saturday, Star says. Who do we listen to?
Who else has an opinion that we should follow? I don't know.
Well, how many pages did we read today?
We started
Because we've been reading for about 3.5 hours.
we started on 398 and are now at 480.
I think we could probably finish because it's less than what we've read today, and we haven't been like reading all day. We've been reading for like 3.5 hours. So, I mean, I think we could probably power through it in a couple of hours, but I don't want to. I don't know. I'm cool to power through it, but I don't know if you have an early call time or what you've got going on.
Or yeah, I don't. As far as I know, I don't have anything going on. Let me just check my email real quick.
What's happening? Don't have. Wait, what's happening? Do we do a poll? Wait. Natty says take a break, but later tonight. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get off to eat, so everybody's gonna have a breather, and then we've got like 70 pages left. 80 pages left, something like that.
Yeah, I can. Let me use my calculator and be like 569 minus 481. We have 88 pages left.
Okay.
88 pages and 6 chapters, I believe.
Oh, okay.
6
Since
or 7.
Not that many chapters, I feel like we could probably do it. We might just forgive us, chat, if instead of taking as much of a break to like chat with chat, we're just like, all right, your turn. I will now chat with chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, a break and then coming back seems to be the most popular. Darth says 88 pages. It's a lot, trust me. I mean, emotionally, yeah, I'm sure it's a lot. Physically, I don't know. Take one down, then burn it in fire. 88 pages of book left.
Rip, burn.
Oh my god. No, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping this as a memory of what we've been through. As if these VODs won't live on the internet forever.
Forever and always.
Alright. I mean, since it's only 6 chapters, I feel like because there's less like gaps in between it, we'll probably get through it faster than we have like the rest of this. That's my guess anyway.
Yeah.
If you're down for that. I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do.
I mean, sure, let's do it. Let's have some dinner and then
just be done with it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not hanging over our heads anymore. That might work. All right. With that in mind, there are some twists too. I believe you, but I'm genuinely wondering what could possibly be twistier than this.
Yeah.
We are powerful neurodivergents and mentally ill people. We can do it. That needs to be on a shirt. We are powerful neurodivergents. We can do it.
I haven't been diagnosed with anything, so I don't know where I stand on that. I'll just be off to the side and be like, okay.
We can do it too. We can all do it. All right. One character you won't expect comes back in a big way.
Theophilus? No, Theophilus doesn't. Who? Crispy?
My money's on Crispy. That was the first person I thought of.
Yeah. Or maybe Miracle comes back, because I remember when they were in the Divide and they had the 4 fireballs coming at them. That reminded me of when the 4 fireballs were coming at Creamy, Miracle, and all them. Maybe that was happening at the same time. So maybe Miracle was like, "Oh look, the zip zap," and she goes to Modelland and is like, "I'm here, dance, 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 dance." I don't know.
Oh my god! All right. Well, let us eat first.
Yes, everyone take a nice break.
Take a break. Oh my god. Thank you for being here
No
with
problem.
me through this. I'm so sorry, Gabe.
Well, thank you for being willing to read this too.
Oh yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun. It's crazy, but I've had a lot of fun. I'm excited for us to be able to be like, we did it. It's done. We don't have to do it anymore. It's
Closing the
over.
book.
It's over. And then Tyra Banks will be like, so I'm writing a second one, and we'll be like, no, it never ends. Bye for now. Bye for now, guys. We'll see you.
Bye.
We'll
Bye for now.
see you.
Bye for now.
Oh my god.
See you. Say like
Bye. Oh my god.